Oh, go on, man. I'm just waiting for these lot to jump in, you see me? I don't know what. There's some new thing on StreamYard, yeah. It's got all these new gadgets and I don't know what it's doing, you know. I have to ask Kaz. I don't know what this is doing. There's some new gadgets, bruv. I don't know what's going on. So let me send the link to that one sec. What do you lot think though? Would you not give up, yeah? Your for 100 bags, yeah? Would you give up your memory of your club? Tell me, innit? Because I don't know what I think like people are going mad, they're losing the plot. Would you give up 100 bags? Would you give it up? Let me know what you lot think. Because me, I'm on a different thing. I'm taking the money, bruv. I don't care. I'm taking that money, bruv. But you lot tell me. What would you lot do? Nah, I don't know. I'm still on the money question, bruv. I'm still on the money question. I'm still on the. Would you give up 100 bags for 100 bags for the man said 100k ain't enough. What team do you support? 40 quid. What team do you support? Your team do you support? Because what's it not enough for? Man are talking about they wouldn't take 100 bags. You're going mad. I don't know what's going on. Like what? Oh, Arsenal, yeah? And you're not subscribed. What's going on, bro? You're on some joke thing. You gotta be joking. Who is not subscribed, bro? How can man not take 100 bags for their team? Oh, you're subscribed. Oh, come on, my G. Yo, you there? Can you hear me? Can't hear you. Let me change this one quickly. Yeah, this one. Who's taking what? I've seen 13. What did he say? I've seen 13 Premier League titles. I'll dash a little of. You gotta dash away a couple of them for 100 bags. You're going mad. You can go put deposits down on yards, blood. You going mad or something? What's man talking about, bro? What's going on, man? You lot liking and subscribing? Are you lot all subscribed to the channel? I asked them. They're the questions I ask over it. You get me? Right, let me just move them until they come back. Let me just go big screen for a minute, yeah. Because they asked me, no, I had this conversation with my cousin Dean, yeah, and I said to him, would he take 100 bags for Liverpool to collapse now? And he said, no, I wouldn't take 100 bags to collapse now. I was thinking, what? You wouldn't take 100 bags to collapse at this minute? He said, no. I was like, raw. So I was thinking, do you know what I mean? You can buy a house with that. You could trust funds for kids. But these men are talking about memories like it means more. You get me? Memories do mean more. But these men are getting paid a lot of money. But I'm taking the money. I don't care. What do we owe our clubs? I'm taking the bag. I'm paying off my girls. Do you know what I'm saying, Hyper fam? Like, pay off your girl, your school fees, pay off loans, pay off flipping your mortgage. Do you know what I'm saying? No, imagine debt free, bro. Imagine having nothing. You've got your house, you got your yard. You ain't got to do nothing. Imagine that. Man, I'm saying they wouldn't take
He's still going on about that.
Going on about it. I can't take it, bro.
Bro, you know what it is, yeah? It's me and Monsters had this conversation off air. If you were to if it was right, if it's 100 bags in front of you, yeah, all in one go, boom.
It's different.
But because I'm just thinking in my head, bro, I know how much money I've wasted in my life. Yeah.
I think yours is a bit. Do you know what? I feel like it's a bit.
I've wasted mad though, bro. Like I've wasted
not even you personally, not to get into your personal, but you see, like people like us that are like potentially have got certain things and certain bits. Yeah, I feel like for you that 100, but everyone's got different circumstances, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what the thing is, bro? When you did the show, yeah, where you were talking, was it last Friday or the Friday before? Right?
Yeah.
And
no, it was not. This was
about Robbie and AFTV. Would he give up?
Yeah.
I sat there thinking, what would I? And the whole thing is, it would have to be I'd have to go back like 20 years. When I
would you? All right, that's a good. Okay, so we'll segue into that. Would you give up never a foul for Man City's 4-peat?
4-peat. See, the 4-peat's hard one. If you said 3-peat, you said treble. If you said first Premier League, yeah.
All right, what's the okay? So, because to me, I think you got 30 or 40 odd thousand subscribers that you lot have worked your whole life to get. Worked hard, fam. It ain't easy getting them level. I know now because I've got 1,000. It ain't easy, bro. So, and you're telling me you would give? Because I said to Dean, would you? Robbie ain't giving up 1.5 million subscribers for Arsenal to win the league.
I'm not gonna. I mean, there's a big difference between 40,000, well, 34 or whatever we're on.
No, but it's the same. It's the same energy, though.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
The same energy.
Yeah, City means more still.
Does it?
Yeah.
No, don't say that, Dabs. Don't say that.
It does.
City means more than.
City means a lot to me, bro. Yeah. It does. I mean, it's a tough one. Don't get me wrong. It's a tough one. But City means a lot.
City means a lot. Arsenal means a lot, but it don't mean more than your life, though.
Nah, bro, means a lot to me, bro. Like, trust me, bro. It helped me through some dark fucking times.
Yeah.
City and everything that surrounds City. Like, as in my brethrens I go to the games with, fucking my past, my memories with my dad. Bro, it means like, yeah, a lot.
Well, I hear that. I hear that bit. Like, it means a lot. You know what I'm saying? I hear it means a lot, but then you break it down, you switch it up and say 100K. That sets up your daughter. Could set up your daughter for life.
But I believe I'll set up my daughter for life anyway.
But you can't with going to the games.
I still can.
No, but I mean, 100 grand in front of you is here now.
Yeah, I'll go and make 100 grand.
200 grand.
I'd say. Nah, do you know what? It's relevant. 200 grand. I mean, 200 grand. You can have the 4-peat. You can't have the 3-peat.
What's the 3-peat?
3 leagues in a row.
Why? Why are you putting more thing on that?
Because the 3-peat was an important one. Because them fuckers said
it matched.
Them lot said we never do it, innit? So
I think the 4-peat's bigger.
Of course it is. The 4-peat's bigger, but I'm happy to go. Cool. We did what you said we couldn't do, while also doing a treble in the same season. We've done 100 points. You've never done that.
Yeah, you trounced them. You trounced them with everything. Only thing you ain't done is Invincibles, and I wouldn't put it past you to get that.
I would now.
Maybe now.
No,
so
we had a chance,
at the time it was in that.
I think there is relevance that to do the 3-peat, you have to have a. I'm not going to say that you lot through other competitions, but I think doing an Invincible while also trying to win a treble is just not possible. It's impossible. Like that's why that don't happen. Like people don't do 100 points while like, and that's the whole thing that like, through Pep's prime period, although winning the league was important, of course, the pressure was to win the Champions League.
Definitely. That's what they brought him in for, wasn't it? Because they'd already won the league with Mancini.
I mean,
did you win it with Pellegrini?
We won it once with Mancini. We won a trophy every season until Pep joined us. And then Pep's first season,
he didn't win the league, did he?
We didn't win anything. So like because I think like one season Mancini won. In fact, no, I think there was a season with Mancini as well where we didn't win anything. Or maybe we won the League Cup. I don't know. But Mancini's third season, we didn't win anything. First season, we won the FA Cup. Second season, we won the league. Third season, we won nothing. We got to the FA Cup final, but lost to Wigan and Mancini got sacked. Next season, Pellegrini won the league. The season after that, Pellegrini won the League Cup, I believe. And then the season after that, in Pep's first season, I don't believe he won anything. I don't believe he might have won the League Cup maybe in Pep's first season. I can't quite remember, but pretty certain he won nothing. And then after that, madness.
Yeah. Now Pep changed the game, man. I feel like he changed the game, but not only did he change the game, he set standards, innit, that no one's going to see again. I don't think anyone's going to see that level of.
It'll be hard to see him.
You ain't
I think
seeing
that's
that
what's been the hardest thing. That's what's been the hardest thing this season, right? That it hasn't been the drop off, like, and obviously, like being, I guess for me, being shit now where it's televised, whereas when we were shit before. In fact, we haven't been shit. Let me rephrase. We haven't been shit this season. We've been bad for us this season.
It's been bad this season.
It's rude to say we've been shit this season, though, because we've been a lot fucking worse, and there's many teams who are a lot worse. But the thing that's been hard this season is how, like you just said there, that Pep's come in. I feel like I need to do a cast now and go lower. Like, pause. There we go.
Yeah, what's with this triple screen? I saw this the other day, D. What's
I
going
don't know.
on?
I like it. I like it. I had the thing before, but I thought, I feel like I like this style. I like it. I like it when it's three, I like it when there's three people. When there's bare people, obviously it can't work.
Yeah, it gets mad. But when people have been, like you just said there, that Pep's come into the game and changed the game and set standards that may never be met again, right? And when we've achieved everything that we've achieved in the last, I'm just going to say in the last like four years, but we could go further in the last 8 years, right? When we've achieved everything that we've achieved, and then we have one bad season, and the thing that's hurt the most hasn't been the drop off, because I'm cool with the drop off, yeah, because I grew up supporting us bad. What I hated is all of the fucking slander that Pep has got and that certain players have got. And this isn't just from rivals, because I kind of expect it from rivals. The hardest thing is seeing fucking City fans cooking Pep, yeah, and City fans cooking Kyle Walker, and City fans like. Just like when you're seeing City fans saying Pep Guardiola needs to fuck off, bro. Listen, if we have a bad season next season, yeah, then I understand there could be a conversation that, you know what, maybe now is the time for Pep to go. It's never Pep fuck off ever. Never. It's a bit like the one.
Even if you have a bad season next season,
no, but it's a conversation that maybe because of where his head's at, and that like maybe it's a good time to part ways.
His girl and stuff.
All of that, yeah. But hearing City fans say Pep needs to fuck off, it's a bit like when your fan base have come out cussing Henry. It's like, bro, you don't do that.
The only thing I'll say about Henry, though, he's got a habit of like criticizing everyone, even when we're doing well. He's got a habit of doing this thing where he kind of like, you feel like, why do you keep doing that? You get me? Because obviously, you know, he tried to buy the club with the Spotify guy. Yeah, he tried to buy.
That was him, wasn't it? Yeah.
But don't you think that might come from a place of he knows where Arsenal's been before. He was obviously at Arsenal at their best, so he's talking from a place of the standards of where you man are now accepting is nowhere near of what him and his group of Arsenal players were accepting. So he's putting a lot of pressure on your team and I suppose the manager.
I agree with that, but then also put the same pressure that you have on yourself. Do you get it? Because when he has been a manager, he was managing,
but he wasn't good enough as a manager. Like, he wasn't good. He's good as an assistant, not good as a manager.
But this is what I'm saying with Henry. He's got this. I feel like a lot of the players, because they feel like they achieved a lot at Arsenal. I feel a lot of ex-players do this in a lot of clubs. That's why Roy Keane and Neville and like, it's a lot easier to sit on the overlap and talk than it is to go and manage, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. But I don't know. It's hard because, like, I remember when Man United first started dropping off, yeah, and I'd see like Ty and some brethren that I worked with talking about. They'd talk about players like Jesse Lingard, right? And they'd be like, even Martial. Even when they're talking Martial and they're talking about these players, and I'd say, but these aren't the standards that like you should have. Yeah. And then they'd see it as an insult. And I'm like, I'm not actually insulting your club, but I grew up in an era, where we, like, as a young kid, you know, when you're a young kid, the rivalry is not as bitter. Young kids. So I watched the Premier League. I saw Man United with Lee Sharp, Kanchelskis, Ryan Giggs, them man cooking down the wings, real wingman, right? So I'd be like, that is the standard that you lot should be setting to. Trying to sell to me Jesse Lingard, is like you're trying to convince yourself that these standards, it's not me cooking your club at all. Your club standards are a lot higher. Like, still, Man United standards should be, and that's where I find it funny now, where you see people
it's a different time though, man. Like, even with Tottenham, for example, they've had players like Modric, Bale. They've had some of the best players in the world. You know what I'm saying? Even greats and stuff like that. And the stage that at now, they've got like Van der Ven's a young like
Tottenham standards have dropped. When it's Tottenham,
even their standards, everyone. I feel like
everyone. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like the standards have dropped because the level of football. We're just trying to be happy with mediocrity. A lot of us are just trying to.
Maybe.
Naturally, we're positive as fans, and so when you're evaluating the situation for what it is, you're like, at the moment, like you've got to try to be happy about something. So you cling on to some of these players that aren't that great, and ultimately, like a manager like Ant, you might cling on to them for a bit longer than you need to because it's a refresh.
I think actually
I think Tottenham are getting a lot of, and I think go on.
Now, because when people say like, you see when people say things like, look at the quality of players now compared to back in the day, right? And I often think, I don't know if I hear that, but that is a really good way of putting that. Like, because if you look at Tottenham, and you look at the players they had, I'm not even going that far back.
Even to the point of Jermaine, like the Foles, Robbie Keane. Like you
don't even have to go that far back though.
Well, you don't even have to go to Woodgate and people like Dawson. They ain't even got a centre back as Dawson.
Nah.
Like, really,
I feel like teams are a lot more packed. Like back then, you could look at Spurs or most teams having 2 or 3 decent strikers. Literally, like 2 or 3 decent strikers, and they're all rotating. And the thing is, they were all happy to rotate. I remember a time when Spurs had Defoe, and Robbie Keane. Remember
Van der Vaart? Remember what's the other guy's name? Van der Vaart. What's the other striker's name that you had that didn't? Pavlyuchenko. Remember, like
we don't even need to go that far back with any of our clubs. George, I think you're right that it's easy to talk about in the past, but when you're talking in the past, you're talking 11, right? You'll probably be able to in any point, whereas now you have to be talking at very least 15, 16, because there are more games, maybe it's more intense, but I like even looking at City right now. Remember under Mancini, we had 4 under Mancini and Pellegrini, we had 4 strikers. 4, right? We had, and it was Tevez, Aguero, Balotelli, Negredo, Jovetic. Like Jovetic was our 4th choice.
Dzeko at one point.
Dzeko, who, bro, still to this day, Dzeko is
all
still
out, bro.
a batsman. Bro, Dzeko's the one that I think you ask any City fan of someone that you wish we could have kept hold of for longer, but you understand why you couldn't. Yeah, because Dzeko in our first 2 titles was so fucking clutch for us. Like, I get Aguero's the one that everyone talks about, but it was Dzeko that got the 2nd against Queen's Park Rangers. Aguero got the 3rd, right? And if you went and looked across that season, the amount of times, and even the Pellegrini season, Dzeko never ever moaned about being a backup striker, right? And it was just simply a case of, do you know what? Yeah, like. He always knew he was going to be second fiddle.
Can I ask you a question, D, then, with this? So, taking it back to Arsenal, would you say that the team you've got now is better than the team you would have had under Wenger, like the back end of Wenger years? So let's say post 2010 to 2016, when it went like 2017, the last 6 or 7 years, because that team, he always overachieved. I think everyone would agree that he always managed to overachieve with that team. But do you think that this team is better than that one and should be doing better?
I think the team that was, I would say probably because of the team's still young and players like Saka and Saliba and those type of guys. I think they could potentially become greats. But I feel like you have to remember Wenger had players like Shamak.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you know the mad thing is, I was having this conversation with someone the other day, and I forgot how recently Wenger was still at your club. I just presume Wenger, like I almost think
20 years ago or something.
I think when Arsenal dropped off, Wenger left, but it wasn't. Wenger stayed for a long time because I always said when the whole Wenger out thing was going on that look, Wenger's never been the issue at your club. It's the board. The only thing you would say is maybe he backed your board too much. That's
what I'm saying. But when we have that conversation, it depends on what board we're talking about. Because when David Dean left, because he wanted Usman,
but this is the whole thing that people never speak on. Yeah, if you deep Arsenal at their best was Wenger and David Dean. Yeah,
of course.
United at their best was Fergie and Cass, who was it? And Fergie and David Gill, right? And everyone always talks about Fergie leaving, not the fact that Gill also left.
Gill
right?
left, yeah.
Again, Liverpool, when they won the Champions League and the Premier League, it was Klopp and Edwards. Yeah. The minute Edwards left, like it seems like the minute certain people go and the manager gets too much power and starts having too much, because that's definitely what happened at Liverpool. Klopp started having too much of a say on the players. And that's where it's interesting with City, because obviously we've got Tiki leaving this summer, right?
Where's he going? He came from Barcelona. He came from Barcelona, didn't he?
So he came by, him and Serrano came from Barcelona before Pep with the whole
thing. Yeah. That's why Pep came, innit? That's why Pep came,
innit? I think they were pretty much brought in with the whole thing. Yeah, bring these man, get the club ready, and then Pep comes a year or two later. That's why Pellegrini joined us, because it was like someone that they've worked with before, that they could, like, as in that they know well from La Liga, they can work with and whatever and get things ready. That's why when Pellegrini left, it was all fine. It was like Pellegrini knew what it was. He was there for 2 seasons. But it's interesting now with City that now Tick is leaving, what the impact will be. Now we've got a sporting director that he's already started, but we have to make sure that Pep is not given too much power. Like that still everything has to go through that sports director.
I don't think Pep will be there for, I mean, he's got everything he wants. I don't think he'll be there for.
No, I feel
like these managers, I feel like Tottenham, Arsenal, City, I feel like they're changing the game a little bit. Like they're keeping managers a lot longer than they need to. I feel like
I never thought Pep would stay this long.
Pep stayed for he'll be there.
I want to put Tottenham in that conversation. Tottenham don't keep managers. Like Ange might be, he's not even the longest, because we.
No, but you lot tried to.
You lot on is like 18 months. Yeah, we're trying to, but like the last 5 years, we've sacked a manager pretty much every. No one's last more than 2 seasons. No one's made it to 2 seasons.
No, but I feel like
how done are you with your owner though?
How what?
How done are you with your owner?
I find that so confusing, when they go mad at the owner, because what is it that you want him to do? Do you want him to just spend more money, or what is it that you actually want him to do?
It's bro, like when it's the owners just sold a lot of stories, similar to I suppose Arsenal, because with Arsenal, I even saw recently ticket prices have gone up and stuff. So it's like and the same thing, I suppose, when you guys moved to the Emirates, it's ridiculous. We all got sold. You get sold this, especially you guys must feel it more than anything, to be fair, because it's been 20 years since you won the league, and you moved into the Emirates, and they sold the story that the move to the Emirates, the big stadium, more revenue, it's going to change us as a club. We're going to be a lot better, but there hasn't been a change. Now, I suppose Spurs are going through that period of, because you guys, when you moved into Emirates, it took you about 8 or 9 years to actually win a trophy as well. Spurs are going through that period. We've moved into this new stadium, but there hasn't been any change. We're spending a little bit more money, but the money's, I mean, the Premier League revenue has gone up how much drastically more. So the percentage-wise of what we're spending is pretty much the same.
What is it that you want changed? Or when Tottenham fans say they want Levy out, what is it that they actually want?
We just want a more focus on the football side of things. It's very clear that our club is so busy doing other things outside of football, rather than like on the last day of the transfer window, they tweeted out the stuff of like announcing the Kendrick Lamar and Beyonce concerts, like the timing of all the PR, like similar to like the PR is so great. Tottenham, I saw the other day, Tottenham got the most followers on TikTok. Why the fuck do you have the most followers on TikTok out of all football clubs? It makes no sense. Like these things are irrelevant.
Yeah, it's highlighting.
I want to focus on the pitch.
It is highlighting, like, because the whole thing is like, if obviously every team has to have marketing, but City have a lot more followers, fans, subscribers, fucking whatever you want to call it, yeah? Obviously, marketing's important, but they have a lot more because we've been winning so much, yeah? And when you win stuff, so if you're not winning stuff and you're still gaining so many followers, you're thinking, yeah, this is so marketing. Sorry, can I just say, talking of that, the likes need to go up. There's nearly 200, close to 200 people in here. I swear the likes are like around the 40 mark. People, it's a growing channel, yeah? You have to help it grow, you have to hit the like button, and then it'll push it out to more people. So please, everyone, support the channel and get the likes up massively.
You've got to like and subscribe, man.
I think what you as a Tottenham fan would want, like, because it's the simple thing is someone would say, like me, I could say, it's great that he's put all these things in place. It's great that he's got Tottenham in conversations that maybe, based on what they've won, they shouldn't be in, all of that, But take the handbrake off. You're now, as a club and a business, you're earning that much money. Take the handbrake off and actually spend the money. But it's not just spend the money on the pitch, yeah. It's not just about spending money. I would say it probably is that, you know, when people say best in class, that you want an actual structure there where the manager really is working with the director of football with a clear strategy. This is how we play football. Like, you never hear about none of that. Like, you hear at City about how from the first team down to the under-11s, everyone plays the same style of football, right? You probably hear that out of Hale End, right? You hear those type of things, whereas you don't hear any of that stuff at Tottenham. It's like and that's what I think. If Tottenham started hearing that yeah, we're bringing in these players because they play with this philosophy, and we've got this manager because they play like this. It's just there's none of that at Tottenham. Like, it's not about the football.
I suppose even for you, D, right now, like, even with the conversation regarding sporting director, I'm sure when you heard you guys were going to bring in Thomas Rosicky, you were like, what the fuck's going on here? We're just doing
I won't focus on that because we were still in a title race. So a lot of the Arsenal fans, what they like to do, they like to focus on things that have got nothing to do with what's actually we need to focus on right now. That happens all the time. Like, we're focusing on things that don't concern us right now. Like, the sporting director, yes, it concerns, but they don't know whether Rosicky will be a good appointment or not. How would they know?
No, 100%. But just like what Dap said, it's all about bringing in the best in class to try guarantee. And the only way you can guarantee is trying to bring in someone that's proven, obviously, before.
Yeah,
I've obviously had some reservations regarding the guy that you're bringing, but ultimately he's worked at Atletico Madrid for a long time, and they've achieved some good things, and he's made some decent signings. So would you not say that you're more happy that you're making a proven signing and bringing in someone like that than bringing in Thomas Rosicky, who's working at Spartak Moscow or Spartak Prague or whatever it is?
Yeah. I would say that. Obviously, after we've been linked to the next person, do you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, it's easy to say that in hindsight, but at the time, the Arsenal fan base are going mad because they're bringing in Rosicky when you don't know whether or not he's a good appointment or not. If it was about football players, I can understand. You know what I'm saying? I can understand because we kind of have an idea, but we don't know about sporting directors who would be good, who wouldn't be good. We have no idea. When we started,
you can evaluate signings and stuff like that. Obviously, no, you are right, D. We don't know enough because behind the scenes with sporting directors, there's so much. Like, their job is bigger than signings. Their job is literally running the whole sporting side of the club. But ultimately, you want someone that's proven. Just like in any job, you'd rather sign someone with experience than a rookie who's just willing to work. Like,
you definitely would. Yeah, you definitely would. But it just depends on what point you're talking about these things. I feel like these conversations need to happen before the season or at the end of the season. There's no point. There's no point Arsenal fans getting irritated with a potential Rosicky signing. Rosicky didn't even come. So they getting themselves all worked up about something that didn't even happen.
Can't stand all that stuff about.
It didn't even happen, bro. Like, see, like this whole thing that happened, they rolled up the whole thing. They got themselves worked up because Arsenal fan base, they're a little bit erratic, aren't they? So they got all worked up. Oh, let's protest all this stuff. Rosicky didn't even come. He didn't even come, bro.
It's like, I think it's the culture at a football club is so big as, like, I think that's massive. Like, it's mad that I heard at the start of this season that at City things weren't right. Like, that
at City,
that things just didn't feel right. That it just, I don't know, seemed to be getting a little bit toxic behind the scenes. Yeah, and
in regards to what?
Just like, bro, mad little things like. It sounds really stupid, but just it's always been that the mood at City in the training room, the dressing room, all around the camp is always good, and it's like a family. And that's when Arteta joined you lot, and in his first press conference was talking about how everyone's pulling in different directions and nothing will work as long as people are pulling in the same direction. Everyone needs to sing off the same hymn sheet. Know what the goals are, know what the objectives are, It's a bit like a business that everyone needs to know what their objectives are, right? You can't run any sort of business, from a business to a football club, if no one shares common objectives and knows what the goals are. And Arteta spoke about that at your club. And that's where I think he's brought, and I'm not saying Arteta should never be sacked. He's definitely made a positive change at your football club, right?
He hasn't just made a positive change. He's got there earlier than we expected. So for the first year of the challenge, no one knew about it. The second year, they said, oh, you won't ever do that again. And it happened again. It's only the third year, which is this year, that we feel like, okay, maybe we should be potential to win now. But because of that drastic change, everyone's minds changed drastically to we should be winning, we should be winning, we should be winning. When technically...
Do you know what? as well, it's not, if I don't think you lot not winning the league, yeah, I don't even think if Arteta was to go, yeah, whether it be sacked or he walks, that should then define Arteta as a bad manager, right? Because the truth is, this is Arteta's 4th season managing, right? Not his.
In life.
It's his 4th season managing, not at Arsenal. It's his 4th season managing, right? And when people make the comparisons with Klopp, go and look at Klopp.
Can't compare it because it's incomparable.
But even if you do, bro, you go and look at like before Klopp, how many years it took Klopp to win his first trophy, right? He didn't win it in his first couple of years. So when people talk about like once he got to Liverpool, but Klopp had already been at Dortmund as a manager and also been at
Mainz. But the thing is, the thing is as well about that is what people don't account for is they don't allow other people to be great. So because Pep is a great manager, one of the greatest of all time, it doesn't mean Arteta is.
Yeah,
this is what people do.
Yeah. Everything's different, isn't it?
Yeah, they all believe that everything has to be the same. So because Ange is having a bad time and he's going to win and he should go for it, people are like, yeah, he should be sacked, you can get a better manager. But it doesn't mean everyone's different. Arteta is maybe just not as good as Klopp or Pep. That's okay.
But at the same time, bro, he shouldn't be. It's his 4th season managing, right?
But it's the same for me. I have the same standards across the board. If Arsenal fans are going to say, yeah, but that's what we want the best regardless, then you guys have to be the best. But that's in the ground as well. We'll be the best fans as well then.
But I agree with that. That now that's a different thing. That I'm defending Arteta as a manager. I'm not defending a reason to keep him or not keep him, because if Arsenal can get a better manager, right, then I totally understand why Arsenal fans would be going, look, we can go and get this manager. He is proven. He is a better manager than Arteta. For example, if Pep Guardiola became available right now, or Klopp became available right now, I would not be standing, and he wanted to go to Arsenal, I would not be standing there and go, no, you should keep Arteta, right? It's just like, when you say everything's different, Slot has come in this season, and I was one of the people saying if Slot comes in and wins the league in his first season, that's awkward for Arteta. And I hear that conversation, but the same time, Slot has inherited a spine that has been there and done it.
We are right, but also the manager needs to be able to, because let's have it right. Under Klopp, it seemed that Liverpool had lost the belief that they could win the league. That was very clear, especially the fact that they'd bottled it a few times. And they'd sort of got used to the fact that they'd let go at the end of the season and they just wasn't the same. Slot has to get that burning desire out of these same players that have failed, a lot of them that have pushed on for years, that haven't won. And for Slot to do that, I don't feel like people can take away any recognition, because let's have it right. He'd won trophies before. At Feyenoord, they wasn't a team that was winning leagues, but he got them to win a league. So clearly he had something special. With Arteta, I don't feel like it's like, as much as I feel like, you do need to focus on the internal, not look at another club and make your decision of, because Slot won it in his first season, we need to sack Arteta. That's not how the Arsenal board need to look at it. But ultimately, there is other managers that can come into this Arsenal team and get something different out of these players. We've seen that. For me, when I look at this Arsenal team, he's gone through the phases, and I'm not going to do phase 5 or what phase are we in, but ultimately the team has gone through phases because he's changed the way he plays. I feel like every year he's evolved into something different. At this point, it seems like Arsenal hasn't evolved into something better than what they was 2 years ago. So then when you start to stagnate, you need to be like, we need to bring something fresh in to then take that step forward.
I agree with that. And I also think that if you don't, this is where I would say as well, and maybe, and this is a strong maybe for me, I would say give him one more season. But at the same time, I would say if you keep him for another season, you are at risk of maybe the whole mentality and everything that he's built, which he's got you to a better level, to start to drop off, because it then becomes.
Do you know what I like in this, dude? Let me give you an example of how I like in this year. I'll show you how I like in this year. You see, Turkish growing cat. He's always there. And they're up in the prices, my G.
The consistency.
You know what I like in this 2 year? For example, Saka. So this much, everyone always says they want better than what they've got in it. So we say Arteta's not good enough, we want better, yeah?
Yeah.
If there was a better right winger than Saka, would we want to buy that winger to replace Saka?
You should. Like one thing. No, but D, would you not be like? I hate, like, absolutely hate.
You don't understand my question, Taps. You get that question?
But
I understand your question, but what
at City we would go.
That's
and get
not even a question. Like, I feel like
would you though?
No, but D, with top teams, you don't do the. I don't want to block the pathway of this player. For let's be real. If a player is good enough, they're good enough. They perform. When you have better players around you, you should be up in your level to match the competition. So if you bring in someone that's better than Saka,
that's easy to say. That's easy to say as words. But I'm talking about actually, if you're actually managing a team or you're actually sorting out things for real, Arsenal right now have to figure out how they're going to find a path for Nwaneri. It's as simple as that. Whether you like that or not, that's what you've got to start factoring into your transfer policy. You get it?
But at the same time, though, if there's an opportunity that comes up that you can sign a player that's way better than Nwaneri, let's just say an experienced one, and someone that's experienced in winning that can come in and change your team, you will make that signing. And ultimately, it's great. It's not great for Nwaneri, but he's a young player. Know your role and play your role. We're a big club. Just Man City don't. But D, do you know why it doesn't? It should work like that because Man City don't have these problems over all these years that they've had all these big players battling for the same positions. Not one time has the player come out and been like, oh, apart from Julian Alvarez, and do you know what, they moved him on quickly. Whenever they have a player that's not happy with their game time, bro, go somewhere else. It's not how it works over here.
And a great example is this season. Like you know what? Right, there's one podcast that that's so sick. Yeah, it's Vincent Kompany on Rio Ferdinand's 5. It was quite a few years ago, and he talks about the culture at City, and he said, when you move to Manchester City, the club will give you everything you want to live a happy life, everything you need on and off the pitch. All they ask of you is to perform at the highest level. If you don't perform at the highest level, it's no hard feelings. There's no love lost. They're not going to come out and start slandering you. They're not going to start blaming you. It's just thanks for your time. We've given you what was part of the contract, and now it's time to move you on. And that's always been so good. Hold on. So if we look at all the players that we have let go right over the years, and we've had people tell us that we let players go too soon and we treat our legends badly by letting them go on a free transfer when they get to a certain age. But I can tell you, all of those legends that have gone, none of them have gone and achieved any more than what that. In fact, the only one, and he went on a free, we didn't let him go. He decided was Milner. But Sane ain't done more at Bayern than he did at City.
No, not more. I'm saying he hasn't.
But we sold him. We sold him, and he ain't come.
No, but I think the point that he is making.
Whereas where we are now this season is the first time that we've actually not replaced players at the right time, and look what's happened. That we've kept.
But that's. I think you're using the wrong examples, because a good example would be like Jay put in the chat, would be like a Palmer, whereas you blocked a pathway for a young player, he goes on and he flourishes. Cool, but at the same time, ultimately, Palmer, go do your thing. City is still finishing above Chelsea. City still have players that are performing to the top level. So let's have it right, D. If you do end up blocking Nwaneri's pathway, it's because you've got something that's better there. You wouldn't, if you do block his pathway and it's someone that isn't better, then ultimately Nwaneri's going to flourish through anyway. Do you think that don't you think it's the wrong mentality of a player that, if you sign someone in my position, do you know what? I don't even want to be at this club anymore. Get out of my club then, bro.
Yeah, and that's the. I do hear what you're saying.
What you're saying is words, but it's not like realistic in real life, is it?
It is though.
It's one of them ones where it's really right.
How is it not realistic? Look at Real Madrid. When Real Madrid signed Tchouaméni and Camavinga, they were guaranteed no game time.
Arsenal are not Real Madrid. That's the first thing. Yeah. So a lot of Arsenal fans like to say, "Look at this team. Look at that team." We are not them. We've never won the Champions League in our history. These things have never been done. So this is the fact.
I like this, Steve.
This is a fact. Yeah. No, this is a fact, because a lot of Arsenal fans.
This is mad. I feel.
No, a lot of
have either of you won Champions Leagues?
No, but I'm saying,
let me adjust my seat.
First of all, we're definitely not Tottenham, so I'm not even getting into that. We're not Tottenham, but what I'm saying is this is real life, isn't it? I live in the real world. So Arsenal are not a team that have won plenty of Champions Leagues. The second thing is our basis and our ethos is not about going and just signing players to replace players like Saka, replace players like Nwaneri. It makes no sense for our model. If we want to change our whole model and our whole ethos, that's a different convo. You can't say, we should be signing players. If Salah was available now, you think we should sign him and replace Saka?
Nah.
At 34 years of age, no. But if you could sign him,
I'm saying, let's imagine Salah was available on a free.
Let's imagine Salah was the same age as Saka. Yeah,
no, not the same age as Saka.
No, the reason why is I have to say that is because again, when you're evaluating, you have to evaluate for what the situation is. Salah's better than him, but Salah's gonna regret. He's gonna regress. But he's in a free. Yeah, but he's gonna regress over the next 2 to 3 years, though.
All right, but let's imagine he was available on a free at the end of this season. Should Arsenal try signing him?
No, because of his age.
But that's because of his age. It's not because of the quality. But again, if we were talking about a player that's 27
on a free, should we sign him?
Nah, because of his contract. His contract wouldn't work. There's a lot of things.
On a free, yes, I would say. But at the same time,
you have to look at, you have to assess everything. I just think with Arteta, right. It's hard because as football fans, you become connected to players, right? So of course you're connected to Saka, right? And also with Ethan already, because he's come through your academy, you're now connected to Ethan. So now you're, by any means, next season, we need to find a way for Ethan, Wanyeri, and we need to find a way for Saka to play together, right? But this is where a director of football and a manager need to work together, right? Because what you have is in the summer is, and this happens at City, Pep will assess what he wants and he'll go to the board and say, like, he'll work out, like, say, from a list, 5 players in each position. And obviously the top one might cost a lot more. So the director of football has to basically work out the strategy. And a prime example is that you're talking about, if Salah comes available, do we get him? Well, it depends what else you need in the team. If ultimately you're fine in all other areas, yeah, and you've got the budget to go and get Salah, you go and get Salah, because overall, if you were to, it's a bit like FIFA and Championship Manager and them type of things. Say your team currently has has an overall rating of 89, right? You could up it by 2 by getting a left back, or you could, if you don't need a left back, you go and get Salah and up it by 2 because Salah is better. It's just about always improving the team.
But that's the point. That's the point I'm making. That's the point I'm making of what the Arsenal board are going through, or what Arteta, the decisions that they're making, is because they're having to think about what the Arsenal really need.
Yeah.
Right now, Arsenal really need a left winger and a striker, in theory, yeah? That's what Arsenal fans think we need. No, that's all we need right now. That's what we think we need. A left winger and a striker, yeah?
Yeah.
Everyone's saying, oh, yeah, you got to get rid of the manager and stuff like that. If you're looking at...
why did one write in 1 more year, if you ask me?
Who?
I presume, I keep seeing bare people writing it, or my chat's moving mad. No, I think
what are you talking about?
No, my chat... Bro, my chat is moving mad. Yeah, it's on me. Don't worry. It's what it is. Yeah, for some reason, someone wrote 1 more year, if you ask me. And now on my comments, everyone that types, it's coming up with, it's showing that they wrote 1 more year, if you ask me. Literally everything in the comments. Yeah, it's bugging.
All they're saying in the chat is D is correct. Yeah, D knows what he's talking about. D
right. Okay, of course they do.
That's definitely not saying that.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Well, maybe my chat's...
No, but D, do you know what it is? Yeah, you know when you say, yeah, you're not Real Madrid, cool. But for one, you should, your club before player, right? Let's just clarify that. You support Arsenal. You don't support the players that play for Arsenal. You support your club, the badge. Well, no matter, players come, players go. When Saka eventually leaves, you're still going to be supporting Arsenal. When Ethan Wanyeri eventually leaves, you're still going to be supporting Arsenal.
Or maybe they won't leave, or maybe they don't.
Well, eventually, when they retire, whatever it is, they're not always going to be Arsenal players.
And always let them go at the right time. Always let them go at the right time.
So my point is that you may not be Real Madrid, but you need to strive to be the best club that you can be as possible.
But that goes without saying. That's not my point. That goes without saying.
No, but I mean, but with that, if you have the opportunity to build a squad of players that you have two top players competing in each position, you need to go for that. You need to strive for that. It's not, oh, we can't block the pathways, so let's just have one good player in every position and the player below them is going to be a level below them. Then that means every time you have an injury, like we're seeing right now, there's a level drop-off. Manchester City are now having that, but a few years ago, they never had that issue because there wasn't a drop-off. Because when you had an injury, there's a better player, or if not a same level player coming in. And that's what you need to strive for as a club. Whether you think your club's good enough for it or not, you need to strive to have a similar level players in each position. So if you can sign a player that's at Saka's level, if not better, you should jump at that opportunity and be like, all right, Now it's time for Saka to compete.
That's not a realistic club model, is
it? It is though.
No.
It's not.
Do you know it's so hard. I see Trevelyan saying it's not feasible. I hear it because it's such. Right, 1 minute you can be in that position, yeah. And I think the hardest thing is that when you're winning, when City got to a point where we probably had a bit of a luxury, right? That let me put it this way: people would say about City, probably in our prime, yeah, that when someone would say, "Will Bernardo start this week?" and like you try and look at who City's starters are, yeah. Yo, what you saying, Moms? Long time. Yeah, so yeah, people would look at who City's starting 11 was, but the whole thing was anyone that joined City when we were in our prime knew that you might not play 70 games a season, you might only play 45, right? But you know you're going to play at least 45 games a season, and you know you're going to end the season with 1 or 2 trophies, right? And that was a luxury to have that, because people would join City going like, oh yeah, I know I'm not going to be start every single game, but I'm definitely going to start 40 games because they're going to go far in every single competition.
That's not good enough. If for example,
but those players don't have the right mentality then, because winning is more important.
Hold on. This is the thing. They are fine with it at the right time. Julian Alvarez is the perfect example, because at the time he was fine with it. But you know that in 2 years' time, once he's won everything he can with you, yeah, if he isn't starting every single game, he's then going to want either A, more money, or B, to go somewhere else and win more. And you have to just manage it correctly. If you're part of a squad that is winning trophies, yeah, that is a mentality. But
that's the point. But that's the point I'm making. I'm making is, if you're looking at what the board or what Arteta are looking at, yeah. For example, Liverpool. Let's bring it to Liverpool because Roms is there. If Trent stays at Liverpool, they're not looking at Hakimi. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't make sense.
I hear what that's saying to a degree,
though. But you're saying Hakimi, though. But that's why I said the perfect example with Julian Alvarez. That's where you need to have scouts that can go and find someone that needs the key into Europe, a big club to win trophies, and you go and bring them there. Agreed. Once they get to that point, I think Trevelyan said this, they'll then want to go. But then you have to find the next one to come in.
I agree with you, because that when he first came in, let's be honest, that he was kind of a novice. You kind of knew him, Argentina, that River Plate. Yeah. But what happens is, like you said, you start winning trophies, and I think pride kicks in. You start to say, I don't really want to be on the bench, because you're right. This is why Pep didn't really get a lot of injuries, because the rotation will be heavy. But when you know you're doing enough, you start to think, nah, man, I don't want to be bit part. I want to be starting the week in, week out. That's when you have to move them on. So I kind of hear what you're saying. But at the same time, I hear what D's saying. I just think it's a pride thing. Once you know you're that guy and you're not that bench warmer anymore, you don't want to cut.
That's literally that. It's egos. Certain players have egos, and rightfully so. They should have egos. I feel like top players and probably the best players do have egos, but also at the same time, if you look again, I just need to keep going back to Real Madrid, because you don't have an ego at a club like that, because you realize we're always going to win something. We're always striving for greatness. So if you're at a club that's always winning, you're never going to question it. But if you're not winning, then obviously you're like, I need to go somewhere else.
You know, another good example from my club, Origi. Yeah, we adore him. He was clutch. He was scoring in that he was scoring that clutch goals in bare competitions. But even him, like, he didn't mind being a bench warmer for time, because he knew he's going to come.
I've got another one. Yeah.
But then when he got to the point where he's like, I've won everything, I want to be starting. He can't. We have to sell him.
Ron says another one. There's a great example.
There's players that are not the same level.
No, but there's a great example. One that was at City, and for me, in his last season at Manchester City, I personally think he might have been our best player. But he was a bit part player, and he weren't cool with being a bit part player, so he went to Liverpool. James Milner in his last season at City was mint. I'm telling you.
What I'm saying.
And more as a winner.
I feel like you guys are going way off of what D's point.
Yeah, you're talking about
players.
Yeah, we're going on tangents.
Yeah, you're talking about players that are not the same level. I'm talking about players that are the same level. I'm saying the whole point of my argument was...
Were you putting Ethan at the same level as Saka already?
No. You've forgotten the argument. The argument was based on why the board wouldn't look at replacing Arteta, because they see it as a young superstar manager in their brain, and who would they replace him with? And I'm saying the same as Saka's basically our version of Arteta. It's the same thing. He's a player that's young, that people think is good, that hasn't achieved anything. It's the same thing. It's no different. What's the difference between Saka and Arteta?
Yeah. Yeah,
I suppose we come through the same time, innit? Both Arsenal.
It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing.
No, but let's be honest. I feel like the love for Arteta comes from the fact that but the love for Arteta also comes from the fact that he was a club captain for some time. So I feel like if he didn't play for the club, I feel like he'd actually be gone by now. But a lot of fans have the affinity that, he was there when he stopped our 10-year trophy drought. We had Arteta, he was club captain. They have that lurching over them. Whereas if he wasn't a player for Arsenal, I feel like he wouldn't have lasted this long. A lot of people would have just let go of him, tossed him out the window.
He might have even walked. He might have walked. I don't know, man. I like I said, look, I honestly do believe, that Arteta one day will be a top manager. And when I say top, I think he will achieve stuff. But sometimes, and this is what I was saying before, that maybe one more season, maybe not. That's a you lot decision. But I would say if you do give him one more season and you don't win the league next season, for the good of him and for the good of the club, it's best you part ways. Otherwise, it can then start. One, it will become even more toxic. But two, it could just become a bit of a mentality thing that players will start. Because one of the massive things Arteta wanted when he joined you was that all of the players believed in him and believed in his style of football. Now, if your style of football is never winning anything, the players will start to go, I don't know if and especially if you start getting senior players that have won something, they'll be looking a bit side-eyed.
What trophies are you talking about? Are you talking about any trophies?
Nah, league or Champions League?
I was saying this to my boy the other day, I think this is my opinion, I think where Arsenal went wrong, you're big, man control and whatnot, but if we're speaking objectively here, you're a massive football club. I don't think you give a novice his first shot. I know he was working under Pep and that, but it's a different pressure.
Yeah, I agree
what
with
I think is going to happen with Arteta is I can see him going, I agree with that, so I think he's going to be a top manager. I think he's going to go to other clubs, win stuff, and come back to Arsenal in the future. I've been saying this. I think he's going to see it as unfinished business. I didn't win the prep. I don't think you're going to win any of the big two. He will win it.
He's going to win it.
Under you lot, right now.
Next season, then
he's going to win it, bro.
Hold on, we need to.
I don't think you guys realize these are top gooner. Yeah, these still believe.
We need to.
I want to say these are top gooner.
You ain't winning it this year, right? You
accepted you're not winning. He'll win it. If Arteta stays, let's imagine, say, what we're in now. If he stays until 2027, he'll win it.
Oh, Russ, you're keeping him that many years without winning anything.
He ain't going nowhere. He's not going nowhere.
Let me tell you why I don't think he wins it, because it's a big if. I'll speak on Dax's club soon, but it's a big if with Man here. We've never retained a Prem in it, but I think Trent's gone. I accepted Trent's cutting from September. If some of our fans still think he's staying, then that's on you. But Van Dijk and Salah is very 50-50. I've said this. If Van Dijk and Salah stay on top of Slot bringing in his players. Remember, Slot only brought in one man, bro, and he barely played. On top of Slot bringing in his players, I think we retain it next year, innit? I genuinely think we retain it next year if Van Dijk and Salah stay. The reason why I say this as well is because you lot will sign, but the reason why I say it over City, and that's might be understand what I'm saying here, they're going to go for a mini transition. And I know, Pep's still one of the best managers, if not the best manager right now, but they're still going to go for a little transition where we're still going to have our core, bar Trent, bar Robbo. If Van Dijk
maybe bar Salah.
Salah's gone, bro.
If they stay,
Salah's gone. Salah's gone. I'm not hearing Salah staying. He's gone, bro. I'm so sick of this, bro. I'm so sick of this conversation, And when I'm not saying you say this, Roms, but Monts definitely was talking about he's still got ambition, And I think it's so small-minded to think that ambition, when a man has won everything he can from a football point of view at your club, everything. He can't win nothing else, right? But more so, people presume that as a man, your only ambition is winning trophies, This man can probably treble at very least, probably quadruple his wage at the age of how old is he?
And go to a country that he wants to live in.
Go to a country that will embrace, that won't take the piss out of him.
He's poster boy in that country. He's poster boy in that country.
Bro, there's ambitions in life, and this. bro, this is a bit like the conversation we have on Never a Foul about how much money do you turn down for me to give back a trophy and whatever, yeah? We're now talking about a man that has won everything already, yeah? Like, he's not going to set no records at Liverpool as far as they ain't doing no 5p, they ain't doing no treble because it's already been done by other people, all of that stuff, yeah? He can he can quadruple his money, be the poster boy, embracing his religion where he feels comfortable.
Just really quickly, you know, when you guys
that is ambition. That's ambition, bro.
Are you guys suggesting, and I'm not saying either or, but are you suggesting that he goes there and takes Ronaldo's position as the biggest player in the league?
100%.
Definitely.
Easily. Man, he embraces the cult.
I hear that, but I don't think you guys realize the impact that CR7 has. Like, CR7, as much as I think Salah has a great brand, and like you said, he's Muslim and all these things, the stars align for him to go to that league.
He trounces it.
I hear what you're saying, but CR7 reach is untouchable, bro.
No,
like,
bro, this is an interesting one because this isn't one for us. Like, so I think Christian Hoover just said Salah versus CR7 is literally the European GOAT versus the Arabic world GOAT. Yeah. But it's a bit of one. So for them personally, like for the Saudi investment group or whatever they're called that basically run it, that's perfect for them to put it up like that. We're doing this guy v this guy, but also it's one of them ones where it's a techie one for them lot, because are they really going to put like?
And also, I feel like you guys are not. You talk about egos. You're not considering Ronaldo's ego, bro. He went there because he wanted to guarantee. I'm the best.
I agree with that.
But then, George, how about this year? I agree. If, let's say, Ronaldo was in China or MLS, whatnot, then Salah comes in. I still think Ronaldo is the main guy. But here it is. Don't you think there's a world where Salah, because Salah will go Saudi, bro, whether it's summer, whether it's in a few years, he's going to go there. It's inevitable. But don't you think there's a world where, because of Ronaldo's ego, he's like, nah, this guy can't be the big guy. I'm now going to cut. Maybe Ronaldo goes to MLS team and whatnot because his brand's that big.
He's not going MLS to go battle with Messi. He doesn't want that, bro. He'll embarrass himself, like literally, because the brand that Messi and his, like, everyone saw when Messi had his first game. Everyone's there. LeBron with his camera and all this, like.
But George, this is Ronaldo. Look.
I know what you're saying. It's Ronaldo.
You get it.
But Messi has already beaten Ronaldo and like little boy Ronaldo a lot of times. I don't think Ronaldo wants that smoke. He went to Saudi to try, and still to this day, what's he do?
I hear it.
I've got the most goals. I've got this, that.
He won't like Salah going there.
No, he won't want Salah there.
And also, I don't think you guys realize that.
If we're talking egos, let's be real, bro. If we're talking egos, bro, the dons that run the Saudi league, like. Them man have got egos as well. Yeah.
If
Ronaldo turns around and goes, I'm not really comfortable with that, they're going to be like, you ain't telling us how to run our damn league, bro, respectfully. So,
you say that, but I feel like part of Ronaldo going there was that he does have a say in how the league runs. Like, I generally think that is the case.
I hear it, bro, but his ego's big. I'm telling you now, the main man in Saudi, I bet you his ego's bigger.
Even Salah himself,
I agree.
This guy's always speak about winning stuff and being the best. His ego himself big as well. So
Salah's not going there to be no second-rate super.
Word, he's not going there to be no second.
The fact of the matter is this: he is also Muslim, bruv. Like him being Muslim and being from Egypt alone, you already double what Ronaldo is, bruv. Like that's just the facts of it. I don't know.
Back to Salah, this is where I disagree with you lot. Maybe it's wishful thinking. I genuinely think him and Trent's gone, but I think him and Van Dijk get maybe an extra year or 2 year deals.
Not Salah. Van Dijk's staying, I think.
But that's the reason why I think Salah will stay for another 2 years, because he's 32. I think he goes Saudi 34, 35. When Benzema and Ronaldo they went similar ages. The reason why I think we keep him, so I think at the end of the season, the club are going to realize, look, this guy's bringing in a lot for us. He's winning trophies for us. And with Salah, compared to other older players, it's like he's getting better as he gets older, and he looks after himself. So I feel like his decline will be a bit later than the average 30-year-old.
I feel like you ain't heard the interviews. I feel like you ain't heard what Salah's been saying, bro. Because everything I hear out.
But you know why? That's not necessarily true, though. Because we've seen
what he said. Just sounds
I'm not being funny. I can talk from experience, bro. Like, we saw what happened with Sol Campbell, my bro. He said, "Oh yeah, don't worry, I'm signing," and then they don't sign. Like all of the media talk means nothing. It means nothing. Money talks.
It's a bit different.
No, 100%. But my point exactly is that right now he's running his contract down. A lot of things can change between now and the end of the season.
What's the reason why he hasn't signed so far then? What's the reason why he ain't signed yet?
Look,
what would be the reason?
Bro, we're talking Michael Edwards, yeah? The bag he would have to throw at Salah to make Salah change his mind. Salah said, I just want to enjoy my last season at Liverpool. His words, not mine.
Yeah,
I just want to enjoy my last season at Liverpool, right? He said that, yeah? For him to do a complete U-turn, bro, Liverpool going to have to... What is he on at the moment? 300?
350, but it's
but
more.
They got to do it all at the same time.
Double
They
it.
They got to do Salah, Trent, Van Dijk, and Konate.
That's the point, isn't
it? Trent's gone.
And
Diaz. Alan Van Dijk, innit?
Van Dijk stays.
Van
Dijk stays.
And Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz is only on 55.
No, listen. We've kind of
Luis Diaz is going to leave.
I think we're going to shot him. I think we're shotting him.
We've kind of forgot a little bit about Alisson this season because obviously Kelleher came in and Kelleher played really well. And obviously Alisson's come back, but Liverpool already doing well. However, the other night, Alisson reminded us all just how fucking good Alisson is, yeah? I swear Alisson's only got one more...
He's serious.
I swear Alisson, at the end of the season, only has one more year left as well.
We're kind of fucked.
They've got a lot.
No, you guys are saying that, but once you win a league, a lot of these players buy back in and they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna sign a new contract with this club."
No, but George, I
think they've already won the league now. They don't need to buy back in.
That's what
he's right.
But if you're a player coming in, seeing that the bigger players are leaving, it could still spur your thinking that hold on, we just won stuff.
Not really, because the way you have to see it is a lot of these players have been there for what 7-8 years.
You're looking at it. You're looking at it from these players. They've just won the league, so they'll be reinvested. I agree with you, right? But I always say this, and I said it about Mane, and it happened, right? That most players at football clubs, yeah, they don't support that football club. Most players at football clubs nowadays, they're not even from the same damn country as a football club, right? They come there, and when you join a club, you want to, one, be paid well, and two, win shit, yeah? Right. So now, if you're certain players at Liverpool, you've won shit. Right, they could end up.
Only the players leaving have one shit though. The ones you're mentioning, Konates and that weren't there.
No, agreed. No, but by the end of but listen to what I'm saying, George. By the end of this season, yeah, they will have won shit. Yeah, your Konates and all of them. When players win stuff, they can still be happy. I don't believe that any player at Liverpool is genuinely unhappy. But once you've won stuff, you then go, I'm at very least going to have a look what is out there. Yeah. So the only way, so they'll go, look, I'm happy at Liverpool. I'm cool to stay here. But I'll stay here if you bump up my wage by, say, 50 bags a week. Right, so cool. So this summer, Liverpool and Michael Edwards, who we know is shrewd as fuck, has to address Konate, Alisson, Van Dijk, Trent, Salah. Every single one of them, and Diaz. Every single one of them wanting a wage increase. They're not keeping all of them. Simple and short. They can't.
No, 100%. But also at the same time, is you've got to look at it is like the certain players they're just going to completely write off. Like you said, the Trents, the Alissons, the Salahs, they've been here for 7. Like they've done their cycle at a club 8 years. But when you talk about, I don't think Luis Diaz will probably stay, but a Konate or someone, Konate could be tempted. I say by only PSG can tempt him. What other club in world football is he going to go and have the ability to compete?
But it's still ultimately but I'm not saying which one's worth more, which one's worth less. I'm not doing that. Sure, but what I'm saying is there is a pot of money and they can only afford a certain amount of that money to go out. And I think that's why we have not seen any of them decisions come out on any of them yet, because it's like a game of chess. Like, if Trent goes, straight away they'll go, right, our budget has just increased by 300 bags a week. So now we can give an extra 100 there, an extra 50 there. But until players actually put everything down on the table and go, like Salah, because they could be saying, right, we need to put aside 600,000 a week to keep Salah, as an example. Let's say 500, right? If Salah turns around tomorrow and goes, listen, no matter what you offer me, I am not staying. They go, cool. We now have an extra 500 bags a week because we'd already allocated 500 bags to Salah. Let's allocate 150 of that to whoever we bring in. The other 350 can be spent tempting Alisson, Van Dijk and all the others. But I think they're probably just waiting for players to actually fully play their hand so that they know what they've got to play with.
Do you know what that's? It's not even just the money as well. That's the main factor. But some players might be looking at it thinking, we've won everything here now. You might just want a new challenge, a new environment, a new change of scenery. It happens. Like that, do you know, Bernardo for you lot for years has wanted it, but for different factors that kept him at the club. I think this will be the summer.
No one's actually ever offered us any money for him. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But I just
wasn't he meant to leave a couple of years ago, wasn't he?
Bro, but the whole thing with Bernardo is Barca
they never
constantly. The only place that has actually come in and said they actually put their money where their mouth is, I think is PSG and Saudi. They're the only two. Whereas he's always had his heart set on Spain or back to Portugal. Like he's always said, I don't want to go to them two places. So
he wants to be in a hot country. He's literally one of them guys that's trying to be in a hot country.
I always describe Bernardo Silva because you see Bernardo Silva around the rest of the players. He's mad happy, and I always describe, but it's been known that Bernardo Silva's missus doesn't like the weather in Manchester. I described that whole situation of one of them ones where, where like your brethrens are all going out and you go home and you're like to your missus, oh, all my mates are going out. I don't really want to go. And she's like, oh, just go and have a good time. You're like, if you're sure, are you sure? And then she's like, yeah, you go and have a good time. The minute the door is shut, you're like, yo, man, I'm coming out. Yeah, and you act like,
and
I think that's the same thing, bro. Yeah, and she's actually pissed off. And the whole thing is no one's ever offered for him. But now we are at a point where actually we've waited too long. And now we're in a situation where our squad needs quite a bit of work again because we haven't managed it correctly.
I don't know. For me, the way that I look at it is, especially because if Klopp was still there, I think the situation would be that a lot of players would leave. I'd really, because they've been around Klopp, and probably when you're around someone for so long, and like I said, you need that change. Like you just need refresh. With Arne Slot, they've seen first season, oh, this is what he's doing. I feel like, and to me, I can't even I like Slot. Like I was looking at him before. He was.
I know him because of you, bro. You showed me.
He was supposed to come Spurs like 2 years ago, so I was really in for him. But I feel like the way he talks, he will get a lot of these players to buy back into the project, like Arteta has managed to do. Like Arteta's been really good at getting a lot of Arsenal players just new contract, because they're brought into the manager. So that's what, as much as the club and wanting new things is one thing, having a manager that can get those players to buy back in is one of the key things. And I think Slot has that ability, especially with the likes of Konate and so on. He'd be like, look, this is what we've done in our first year. This is just a touch, like a tip of the surface. Look, don't worry. The next 3 to 4 years, we're going to do something massive. We're taking this club forward. He's going to sell that project. And a little bit funny, he's got a very good base to start selling that project from.
The truth is that we're at a point where we're talking about like how it's all going to end for Liverpool. We don't know how this season's even going to end for Liverpool. Liverpool really could end up winning the Champions League this season. Like what? So even that changes everything, because then the money from that will also then impact what wages they can offer.
That could be for better, for worse, because some of the big players might be like, you know what?
What are they staying for now?
Yeah, because some of the big players could say, for the better, they could say, raw, like, Slot's going to add in more of his players. Let's stay, let's win a few more. But then, when you look at it, that means Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, Trent, they would have multiple now. A lot of Brown fans got onto our players that they've only got one of each. They'll have 2 champs and 2 prems. They might say, we've actually doubled what we've done here in trophies. Let's now actually cut. So it can go both ways still.
I agree with that. I can see, like, my bedroom Izzy, he thinks all 3 are leaving.
All 3? I don't believe Van Dijk's going anywhere.
He's convinced. Izzy is convinced.
I only think Trent's going in it.
I think Salah's gone, man.
I only think Trent's going. I think Salah goes in a couple seasons. He definitely goes.
It's just what he said, bro. It's just like, there's no way that when I read what he has said, I just find it, and that along with the fact of, as a man, that like, I get, oh no, he still wants to win stuff. Bro, I hear all of this winning stuff, but he'll have 2 Premier Leagues, at very least 1 Champions League, potentially 2. I actually do think if you win the Champions League, he's definitely gone. If you win the Champions League, he's won 2 Premier Leagues, 2 Champions Leagues. Why would he? And he's being offered 4 times as much. Go and live in a country where long term he probably wants to live.
But that's you talking about Salah. But then you got to think about it like that's also happening to Van Dijk as well.
Yeah, but Van Dijk's
can we look at this on the? I know obviously we're looking at the good side.
Well, Real Madrid are offering
winning
Van Dijk money now.
And how winning can impact your motivation to potentially, because obviously you've already done it. What about, let's again take it back to Arsenal, yeah, and talk about the fact that there's a lot of players, they're top players, like I said, youngsters that haven't won anything of relevance and have been there through consistent failure. Do you not think that although they've got contracts to run down and there could be a few, at what point do you start to worry that these players could be on the way out? The likes of Saka, maybe not Rice and Odegaard. I think those two are probably two that may say, but I'd say Saka, Saliba, Gabriel.
Saka's not going anywhere. None of them.
I don't think Saka will cut.
That's you being naive though, thinking that none of these players can go.
George, I've said this for seasons, yeah. I feel like each of the big clubs have that one player that actually I thought would be Trent, but I was wrong. But you see Saka with Arsenal, Foden with Man City, Reece James with Chelsea. I feel like them players are just in the fabric of the club. They're just staying regardless, bro. Like the club could be battling relegation. They're the embodiment of the club to get.
We think that though. We think that. Let's just take it away. Foden's he's been put in a very good situation, that he's been at a very good seat and he's always been achieving. So it works out. Reece James has been injured. Let's have it right. He's not even had the opportunity to even look at other clubs because Real Madrid was. We remember before he was captain and he was performing, Roms. Real Madrid were in for him. Real Madrid potentially wanted him. And there was a lot of rumors that Real Madrid were going to make that signing.
There's a perfect example of this, because I'm with Roms, yeah. I am with Roms overall, that I think there's certain people at clubs, yeah, that it's just, they don't. However, and I'm like that with Saka, because I think ultimately, if someone was to come in for Saka and offer Saka mad money to go there, I think Arsenal would overall look at, because the one thing that people don't like to talk about, I think something that people don't look at, and Grealish is a good example of this, is that people are looking, go, Grealish didn't really achieve what a 100 million player on the wage he should achieve. However, for the club, he did, yeah, because shirt sales and what Grealish did for City, that's why he was 100 million, right? Prime example, the reason why Man City have just given Marmoush the wage they've given him is because we know that Marmoush and the commercial value of Marmoush is worth giving him that, right? So I think with Saka, that even if Saka is linked somewhere else, Arsenal and Saka right now commercially is worth so much, yeah.
Right now, but eventually there will be a point. Just like with Harry Kane, like he was first through and through, but eventually there is a time.
There's a better one, because I would have put Trent in the same bracket.
Same. That's why I don't know if you clocked that.
You guys are talking about players that are winning. Let's talk about players that have been at their club for years that aren't winning. Eventually, they do get to a point of when they need to realize that it's better somewhere else if they want to achieve stuff in their career. I know Saka's young.
George,
so
tell us how that feels.
I'm not talking about the immediate future. Obviously, I'm talking about it could be 2 to 3 years down the line. Like D said, he feels Arteta may win it in 3 years, but Saka could be there and be like, raw, 7 years, I've not won something. I'm pushing on 25. It's my prime age now. Maybe, and let's just say we have to talk about if a big, because he's not going to leave to go to a smaller club. Like, let's be honest, he's a top player. He's going to leave. He's going to go to somewhere that's top and somewhere that he, like, again, it could be a Madrid, it could be a Barca, it could be a Bayern, it could be one team that is guaranteed to win stuff. And also, he can also know that because he's got that love at Arsenal, win stuff somewhere else for 3-4 years, come back at Arsenal, and then you can still have that.
Have you seen that comment? That comment is mad.
Which one?
I don't know. From Christian Hover. Saka overplayed is finished. Ethan here now. Is that, bro? Are you really throwing Saka out that quickly?
That's
no
chance. Ethan could potentially have a higher ceiling. But you can't call him better right now. He's not done enough to be better.
It's good when he was young as well. It's just and again, I really like Ethan, but it's a new toy in the.
What I would say to what you just said, George, I hear you, but there's certain players that, even if they're not winning, they just still stay at the club. Look at Alan Shearer, for example. Yeah, I know he had won. Look at Gerrard.
Alan Shearer went there but Alan Shearer went to Newcastle quite late in his carear.
Late in his career, wasn't he? Like,
I can't remember. Was it late?
Because he was at Southampton. Then he went to Blackburn, won the league with Blackburn. Then he went to Newcastle. I swear he went to Newcastle like
I swear it was in his peak. I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
No, I don't know. Personally, I think a peak Alan Shearer, from what I remember, was probably Blackburn. Because, bro, he won Blackburn the league.
Actually, I'm getting this confused. When Fergie wanted him, was that from Blackburn or from Newcastle?
He went to Newcastle in '96, and he was already 8 years into his career at that point. So he must have been around.
I thought that he was United wanted him from Newcastle, but they didn't. They wanted him from Blackburn. Then he made the move.
Bro, he's a gunman at Blackburn. Yeah. Bro, that season Blackburn, it was him and it's SOS, Shearer and Sutton. They were cold. Yeah. Cold. Bad boy there.
I just think
I feel like you see when we talk about Saka leaving and players like that leaving, like Saliba and players that leave, we say, oh, they don't win titles, they're gonna want to leave. We talk about it like they're not part of the club.
Yeah.
You get it?
I agree. They have to take responsibility, and that's what I do with
more Saka than Saliba, because like Saliba, remember, he ain't he ain't grew up in the Arsenal. Like Saka, like no pun intended, but it means more to you get that. He's literally been at Arsenal.
Yeah, but then win. Then he's part of the team. He's playing.
And wait, that's my point, though. D.
That's why I think he stays even forever. That's my logic. That's why I think Saka stays forever.
And even with that,
Saliba will move because that even like them French man, they just see like Real Madrid and Barca. I feel like if you're born in England and you play for like the club you love and through the academy, I don't think you look at Barca and Real Madrid in the same light as like a.
Pardon? Sorry.
Bartrand.
I mean, we can all agree with that, but I don't know about you, bro.
Trent's an exception, yeah. But I feel
they're
like
not English.
Why Trent's an exception?
Yeah, Scouts not English, exactly. Scouts not English. But I just feel like Saka and them, they might not look at it appealing. They might just be like, this is my club, Arsenal through and through. We got it wrong with Trent. We thought Trent would be the same, but obviously he's cutting. But I just think certain players just want to stay at a club, even if it means it might not be the best in their career, but sentiment gets into it.
I'm taking it back to because the first conversation which we started was, will you sign a player that's better than someone in their position, i.e. replace Saka with a better winger if the opportunity becomes available? Let's just say 2 years down the line, again, this is all just predictions and stuff. We're just throwing stuff out there. None of it could happen, but 2 years down the line, Saka's, you said Arsenal's still not won something. Saka, like you said, needs to take responsibility. I've been one of those people that when Kane left, I was at the point of, I want Kane to go because he's not carried us over the line. He's been the guy that's supposed to do it, and he's not done it. You can look at some of your top players at this point, and the blame, as much as it needs to be on the manager, it needs to be on the players, that these players have not got over the line 6-7 years down the line. At that point, as a fan, would you not want to sign someone that's better than him that can get over the line? That's my point, though, D. Like, you have to evaluate the situation for what it is. As much as he's a club player and all these things, you can't just keep going, because he was in the academy and he was good, like we got to keep playing him. Like ultimately you need to make sure you're doing what's best for the club.
You're talking about the end of his career, or if you're talking about when he's 25, two different conversations. I think
it could be at 25. It could.
No, he will never leave. That's a couple years time.
How old is he now? He's been 23. He's been doing this thing from young. How old is he? 23? That's 25 years old.
I think, you know what though? I think it is one of those things, because same with Foden, that like I think, like, I remember our chairman Khaldoon saying, it was a good couple of seasons ago, he said that Foden, and before Foden had fully broken through and cemented his team in the first 11, as far as you can at City, he said that Foden breaking through and into this squad is as important to Manchester City as winning the league next season is. And remember, at this point, we won a good couple of leagues, but he was saying, because Foden is the first Manchester-born from our new academy that has broken through, so it's very important. And like, it's still, obviously Foden is having a stinky season. I don't dress it up remotely. It's been an awful season, but still, he's a poster boy of City at the moment. Like, whenever there's new kits out or anything, he's there. However, the same way it goes for the player, that the player could get kind of, do you know what, I'm not winning nothing, so I want to leave. The club will also, and if your club's standard are correct, I'm telling you now, like, Foden will only get a pass at City. I'm not meaning from Pep. I mean him from
the board,
from the chairman. from Khaldoon, yeah, because Khaldoon has not got where he has in this world by making stupid, like just going, oh no, it's all right, it'll come good again. So, like right now, Phone's had a bad season. If he has one more bad season at City, there's going to be a lot of awkward conversations at a board level about him. Because you can't just keep putting your blind faith into him.
Again, I think Foden is a different scenario again, because I feel like you run your club differently to how Arsenal run their club.
Yeah, but we should all thrive to run our clubs. Because remember, this conversation started actually about how badly Tottenham is run. Like that Tottenham don't make these decisions based on a football thing. All their decisions are about something else. And like, yeah, so I think
ultimately what's happening on the pitch is more important than anything. Like Saka being, again, I just keep saying Saka because it's relevant to the conversation that we was having earlier. It could be any player that's playing for their club, a boyhood player. Ultimately, you can't put the player before the club because he's a boyhood player, and it might be great for marketing.
Yeah,
if there's an opportunity that player is not performing and he's not getting your club to where it needs to be, you need to look at other options. And as a club, that's how the top clubs are run. The best clubs are run. Like Real Madrid aren't going to sit here and hold on to a player because he's come out from the academy and just keep playing him. And just because like Real Madrid fans literally boo their team after 2 losses, bro. They're literally booing their whole club. They're going mad. They're saying your shit. Like you can't have a bad game there because that's standards and that's the pinnacle of football. All of us should be aiming to have top standards. But ultimately, yeah, you are right. Our clubs aren't those clubs and we need to adjust.
And this is where I think, like, watching what happens at Arsenal over the next 3 to 9 months and longer, because you've got a new sporting director coming in.
I agree. That's key.
Because he's coming in from a different, and same at City, by the way. Because remember, I was saying that Tick is gone, and we've now got someone else coming in now. And same at Man United, even with what's his name, with the guy Barada they've got from us. But we'll talk about Arsenal. You've got someone coming in from Atletico, right? So he's going to come in, and now it's going to be interesting because maybe over recent years, Arteta's got his way. This guy will probably be coming in and saying to the board, look, although I agree with what Arteta's saying, I'm the sporting director and I've been given these objectives. I disagree.
Normally, he's Arteta's manager, right? The sporting director ranks higher than the manager in the hierarchy. So he needs to come in.
100 and it could be good for you because this guy could come in and go like, do you know what? It probably is good for you because ultimately, however good Arteta has done for you, it hasn't got you there. Now we go back to Klopp and Edwards. When Klopp had Edwards, when Pep had Tiki, shit works. And Arsenal will probably be looking at it going, we think we've got the right manager, but Edu was not the right match for him. Let's go and get this guy, and together could tweak things and it could work.
You're saying it's the right match until it wasn't, because what happened is Klopp was given a power trip where he was overseeing everything. I think sometimes in even life in general, just play your role, just do what you have to do. Because what happened, the reason why Edwards cut is because he didn't want to extend Hendo Milner's contract. He didn't want to buy Nunes. These are all Klopp things. And then Edwards said, 1 minute, you lot are sanctioning this. I'm off. Bro. And if you realise, the minute Klopp left, Edwards comes back. Edwards said, you know what? We need you back here. And he comes back.
Everyone in life has a brethren that, like, right, you've seen it. So there'll be a footballer that really wants to a footballer that's a sick footballer, but he really wants to rap. Bro, stick to playing football. Or you got a trapper that's sick of trapping, but really wants to be a rapper, Or you got a rapper that just wants to trap. Sometimes just stick to what you're good at, It's true. Like we're men, we have egos, and we think, nah, I'm good at this. I can do something else as well. Nah, bro, just stick to what your God-given gift is.
Just for that, because obviously you're a big fan of Arteta, like that goes
definitely.
So with this new sporting director coming in, are you of the same thought process that we have, that Arteta needs to relinquish the control and it needs to be going the way that this, because ultimately if he comes in, he needs to have the control to do what he wants in the transfer window, because we've seen over the last couple of years, maybe the transfer windows, whether it's Arteta, whether it's Edu, ultimately it's just not gone the way that it's been needing to be to get you guys to where you need to go. So are you of the thought process that we need to back the new sporting director with whatever he wants to do, or is it Arteta needs power too, because Arteta has been there for long?
It just depends on what the actual list is. If I could see the list, I'll give you a better.
Not like a scouting list of transfers. I'm just talking about like the power in general of running the club.
You got to tell me what that power entails. Like, I don't really know what the actual role of a sporting director is. You got to tell me. You got to give. If you tell me, then I can give you a bro. I don't actually know. What do they do?
But I believe
outside of signing players, it's a point in how the club's going to run. I mean, some sporting directors actually go as deep as the club play a certain style. They want the club to play a certain style. They implement the style of football that the club's going to play.
Some go as far as being scouts and work
closely. Yeah, literally.
Yes, it all depends. Like
on the actual sport, I feel like every sporting director has their own specialty and what they're good at, innit? Like,
100.
A transfer guru. Some of them are transfer gurus. Some of them are actual.
My thing is mine is purely about transfers. I'm not thinking anything else.
They're predominantly transfers, but it's also the transfers have to be relevant. Like when it works right is when the transfers are right. The style of play will be relevant. The manager will come in to match the style of play you want. So straight away, that's a match. If you've got a football director that believes in one style of play, you don't want to go and get a manager that goes the complete opposite way, because then
you're looking at the wrong players.
So then once they have to be constantly working with each other, with the scouting team, to find the players that match the style of play. And then often what you'll find with the sporting directors is if you've got a big boy signing, that needs, because they'll have people that they can send out there to go and do the transfers. But when they're like, say, Haaland, for example, Tiki will have gone, nah, I am dealing with all of these negotiations, because the people that they empower won't be able to go, fuck it, you know what? We're not going to give you 300 bags a week. We're going to give you 400. Whereas if he goes, he can go, yeah, cool. You want 400?
I don't really know what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're talking about transfers solely, then it's striker and left winger. That's it. If we had 250 to spend, I would even spend 150 on the striker and 100 on the left winger.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I really don't think Arsenal are far away. I don't.
They're not that close. Signing 2 players isn't going to make you guys title.
Yes, it is.
I think 2 players makes a difference. Massive difference.
Bro, no, it makes a difference. I'm not saying it don't make a difference. I'm saying it's not making you title winners.
Well, nah.
If we sign Isaac and Nico Williams,
it doesn't. Right. Here's
challenging. Yes, you're challenging right now. Are you guaranteed?
It is never just about what your club does. It's about what other clubs do as well, right? If Arsenal go out and sign a striker and a left winger, because you're right. On the right side, you've now got your Saka cover. Literally, it's been proven. So if you went out and bought a striker and you bought a left winger, and Liverpool let Salah go and Trent go, I don't think Liverpool miss Trent. I'll be real with you. I really don't. I think they miss Van Dijk and Salah a lot more.
I agree.
But then it would put Arsenal at a chance. I think Arsenal are close, man. And that's where it's interesting, because this new director of football could be the difference. Right, he could come in and make a couple of tweaks. There we go.
Daps and D are right, because they're literally, in my opinion, 2-3 plays away. You know the window they're having now. For me, they should have had this window before the season. They're having their Van Dijk, Alisson window where they just have the few missing pieces to the jigsaw. Then they're ready to go and win it. But the things with Arsenal, they should have had the window that they're about to have. They probably should have had it last summer. But where we had that window where we just needed 2 players to add, because everything else was calm but our defense, we added them in, then we go in the Champions League and Prem. I think Arsenal are kind of at that stage where they're only couple players from like actually reaching that main of not a cup, not FA Cup, not League Cup, the Prem or Champs. I think that's where Arsenal.
If we sign Nico Williams and send Isaac, we're equipped to win the.
Well, I don't hear great things about Nico Williams, you know.
No, but I want him. That's what I want. Easy.
But this is the thing, though. It's like you want to sign two players, but I feel like the problems go deeper, because, like we've seen, Arsenal have squad issues. When as much as you beat PSV 7-1,
you don't have squad issues,
but you do. And if you're failing to recognize that, then you're just being like you're just choosing not to acknowledge it. But you do have squad issues. We don't have squad issues. The drop off, your defense at the moment, the drop off between a lot of your players to the next ones below aren't that good. Only defensively, you're covered. In midfield, if you get an injury, you're not covered. Thomas Partey,
you're not understanding.
I'm pretty sure Thomas Partey's. A lot of Arsenal fans have said Thomas Partey's pretty much leaving this summer. Right?
I think you're right. As with Jorginho's age, I do hear what you're saying.
I don't know. I've heard he's leaving. I don't know. I don't know.
We don't have squad issues. No, we don't have squad issues. If we sign, for example, a striker and a left winger, all of a sudden Havertz and Trossard then become squad players. So you're saying we have squad issues. Our squad issue is based on the fact that we let so many players go and we didn't replace them. Once we replace certain players, we got the smallest squad in the league. That's what our squad
you sound like me now. You sound like me a few years
now,
ago.
now you're trying to do the.
Listen, bro. Back in the day when people used to go, bro, it was the same thing back in the day when people always used to say City have 2 players in every position. Yeah, we never did. It was just this mad myth. Like, and I always Hassam always used to say it, and I used to say, Hassam, set up a stream, and we will go through your squad and my squad, and you'll see your squad's bigger than my squad. But I hear what you're saying. I think Arsenal are close. I think whether they can, if they sign 2 players, it all depends on what City do and what Liverpool do. Like if Liverpool,
but I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
Nah, it does, bro. Bro, if Liverpool keep their spine. And
I'll
by
say
one
from
or
now,
2
we're
other players, bro, they're retaining the league.
Think we'll retain the league.
Of course.
I know we've never done it.
This is the whole thing I say with Liverpool. Like, I know a new manager came in and whatever, but bro, they've got a spine that have been there and done that, and a proven spine. And if you look at their spine this season, like Van Dijk has been fit most of this season. Salah's been fit most of this season. Their spine has stayed there. If you've got a strong spine, it's everything.
Yeah? I'm interested to hear Dean's thoughts on this year, but for me, Trent, Van Dijk, and Salah leaving are the difference between us retaining the Prem and being in a top 4 race. That's the drop off, because you can't really replace them 3. You can try and buy players to compensate, but you can't replace them 3. So even if two out of 3 of them stay, I think we can retain it. If they all cut, I'm preparing myself for top 4. I'm not going to be one of these delusional fans. Yeah, but Slot could still bring in his own players. They're not them 3 to get. They're just not. So that's the way I see it.
You know the funny thing is, yeah, as I walked in, Daps is talking is hilarious to me. I knew it'd be Daps that we're talking. I knew it. I knew it. When you told me he was there,
just a reminder, young man, this isn't trench talk.
I knew it.
Sorry,
Daps.
old man.
I said, yeah.
Old man.
I said, as soon as I walk in, I bet it's Daps. But yeah, you know
what? I'm going to go now.
I want to joke that.
I'll see you later.
You're feeling joking. What's it
called? Don't do that to Daps, man. Oh, dang, man.
What you did?
Oh, bruv.
Fuck right off. I'm staying right where I am.
Of course he's not going. But no, you know what, Roms, you're right. If the drop off, even just Van Dijk, I think if
he might be the most important out of the 3.
He is the most important person, bro. He's the most important out of all of them, bro. If he goes, I think we're finished. I'm not gonna lie to no.
Finished.
Finished.
Not finished, but in terms of where we want to be, we're back to like top 4, like just challenging.
Yeah, it's all top 4.
Yeah, but hold on. That's you pretty much every other year anyway, so that's normal for you lot.
Oh, so I'm.
Do you know when you guys are saying top 4?
Hold on, am I lying? Hold on.
You can't actually troll him. He's right.
Am I lying? I'm not lying.
You're not lying.
I'm not lying.
Don't like the way you said it.
Yeah, the delivery, isn't it? It's
it's not a lie. You man,
it's not always the message, it's the messenger.
If we deep it, over the last 8 years, you've been a challenger for top 4 more than you've been a challenger.
Daps, I just don't like the way you messaged it. I know what it is. Just don't say it.
Put it in a nice way.
Get me. I don't like the version.
Probably have Arsenal challenged more than you lot in the last couple of years.
Nah, maybe 3. They've challenged for 3 years now.
Challenged them the same amount of time.
3 in a row.
That's twice against you lot. The year we won it.
It's the same, similar, but they've won.
But technically, you can say you challenged last year. You just fell off at the end.
All right, so I guess the biggest question is, because something that Klopp never managed to achieve, never achieved at your club, not with a League Cup, not with an FA Cup, not with a Premier League, not with a Champions League. He never retained a trophy for you. So will Slot manage to retain a trophy for you?
I think Slot can.
It's possible.
No, I don't think so.
It depends if the big players. If we keep 2 out of 3 of them,
you're not keeping 2 out of 3.
You can't. Well, you don't 100% know. That's what you
think. Who do you think's leaving?
Who
do you think is leaving?
Trent.
Trent. I said we were speaking about this.
Yeah, Trent. And who else?
And Salah.
Yeah, forgot about Salah.
Salah's going. I forgot about Salah.
You know what? Actually, you know what? You just said it there, yeah. Your biggest loss is 100% Salah. Like Salah's literally contributed. I get what you guys mean with regards to the way they play, but if you actually look at it statistically this season, Salah's been involved in more than 50% of their goals.
Yeah, facts.
Like literally, like you would be nowhere near where you want to be without Salah. I know other players would replace that, but wouldn't replace nowhere near the level of contribution that he had. It was like when we had Kane. You just can't replace that contribution.
let me just throw some names we're linked with, yeah? Let's say we was to get a Semenyo, a Kudus, or Isak, like, get two of them in place for Salah, yeah? They're not going to hit Salah numbers, of course not, but, like, they'll somewhat compensate. There's no one.
Kudus.
Yeah, he's having a bad season.
He can't replace Salah.
Kudus, with Kudus, yeah, I think you can say he's having a bad season. For me personally, that game where he started swinging out at man, he tapped out, bro. He knows he's so much better than them lot, bro. He's just like,
but you got to remember, Salah will be for free, and Kudus will cost 100 million.
Bro, I don't think they get is. I'll be real with you, yeah. Like,
you're not signing 3 new attackers with that money.
They ain't getting like
Liverpool. This is Liverpool we're talking about.
They ain't getting his app.
George, do you know our remit is?
But Roms, you know your club. You'll sign one, and then you're going to sign a player for like 25 mil. You're not getting
George. But
maybe you won't even. Maybe Federico Chiesa is going to be expected to take on the man.
Pissed off,
George. You know what?
This is FSG we're talking about. They're just as bad as Levy, bro.
No, but George, we're 1 in, 1 out with FSG. We've been like that as long as they've been here, bro. Diaz is going to cut. Nunes is going to cut. Chiesa's cutting. Them 3 are cutting, bro. And
Chiesa's cutting.
No, please hold on. Please tell me Chiesa is being cut. Tell me he's being cut, not he's cutting.
Yeah.
He has no right to cut.
He's being cut.
The manager don't want him, man. The manager don't want him.
He'll go back to Italy like a Roma or Lazio or something. Someone will pick him up from Italy. Yeah, he's homesick.
Yeah, he will.
So the season's nearly done, bro. He's got here. The season's nearly done. He's not playing no games.
Bro, he's just as bad as bro. He's literally.
He's not bedded in.
I swear he's like 1
appearances.
Isn't that bro?
Has he made 5 appearances?
Bro, he's only just better than Arthur.
Arthur, who's Arthur?
Yeah, when you guys had Arthur Melo.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Arthur makes him look good. Arthur hard.
You know what's funny? They both come from the same team. You guys just gave Juventus money for those ones. Literally, just handed them a couple hundred bags just to hold them ones. But but if we are being honest, I get what you mean with the 1 in, 1 out thing. But also, the one thing we have known is FSG have been very lucky that these players have stayed performing for 8 years. Because I don't think if these players never maintained the level which they're at, I don't think FSG were going to go out there and spend loads of money to replace them or bring in players to compete with them.
No, they don't do that. They don't do that.
They don't. That's my point.
If they
so you guys
have
been lucky.
You stick with that person.
Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what? Yes, and you know.
Yeah, they have though. They have.
Yeah, exactly.
The 2 times they had to.
Let me land here because yes and no. Because I don't like this myth that Liverpool don't spend money. Because when we have to, we will, bro. We drop the money on Nunes. We've dropped the money on and players like Sobozdan at 60, 70 million. When we have to, we will. So you're saying, bro, FSG don't do that. Bro, when we have to build Alisson,
they do. But like I said, one.
The thingy.
But it has to work out. If they buy something, it has to work out.
The point is what Dean's saying. It has to work out because if you replace Salah, you're not going to sign 2 top players to replace him. You might sign Kudus, but if Kudus don't hit good, it doesn't matter. Kudus is here now. He has to work.
I think the key is if you look at who did the business, right? Because like if we're talking about because right now I think with City we have to as well, and I think this summer we're going to go all out on Verts, yeah, because we have to, like we did with Haaland and De Bruyne. With Liverpool, when it was Klopp, they went all out and it fucked up. They went all out on Nunes and it didn't end well, right? I'm not saying he's been the worst signing ever,
but we didn't put another striker in after, did we?
Yeah, I hear it. But the 2 times that under Edwards that you went all out and paid and broke transfer records were with Van Dijk and Van Dijk and Alisson, right? The 2
even
players.
Fabinho, chuck Fabinho in there as well. We paid big money for.
Yeah, but them 2 in particular. But them 2 in particular, the Van Dijk, and the Alisson one, them 2 ones, were Edwards.
They wouldn't have done it if they didn't sell Coutinho. This was fun.
George, you make a very good point. I'm there thinking we're just plucking money out.
No, it's Coutinho money, bro.
It's literally FSG, because I know FSG are very similar to Levy. Like you guys are only going to make the big, and the problem is a lot of these players are going on freeze. You're not getting money for them. So as much as FSG have money and they will spend, but FSG are not going to go over and beyond and be like, you know, when they done that bid for Caicedo, like, and it was a like. That was a once in a lifetime thing.
That wasn't a real bid. That wasn't a real bid.
Hold on. Do you not think there was? No,
man, that's fake, bro. That was fake. They knew he was going Chelsea.
That was a real bid, bro. I think that was a real bid.
They made it, bro. It's all good making a bid on something that's it's gone already. because you know
I hear
he's
it.
going there. 100, bro.
Dean, you're basically saying we just made a bid because we knew you weren't coming, so you have to spend the money.
Bro,
Can I ask you a question?
Bro, Klopp said he ain't spoke to
Arsenal
him.
done it with Watkins, bro. They just done it. Tottenham done it with Grahey. They said we bid 70 mil. Bullshit, bro. It's just
Just
I
to
tried.
say to the fans.
Can I ask you a lot of question? Can I ask you a lot?
And not speaking to the player is actually mad. It's delusional.
Thank you, bro. Didn't speak to him. Klopp
real
spoke
talk.
to the guy yet. Huh?
Yeah.
Come on,
Can
bro.
I ask you a lot of question? There's someone in the chat, Brandon. Yeah, I can tell already that he's one of them brothers that's been wounded by City and just hates everything to do with
He might
City.
be a Bayern Munich fan.
Bro, I can tell, bro. I can just tell them. There's
No,
certain
he's
people
making
in the
a good
chat.
point.
But no, so that's why I wanted to ask you a lot of question. Yeah, do you lot think right now that? And bear in mind, we still have Pep, and bear in mind our owners. Do you think Man City are now on a decline, and that's it? City are on the way out. Like genuinely.
No,
I don't think that's the point he's making. I just think with Wirtz in particular, you're talking about a German player that has the ability to play at the best German team in the country.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the times we've noticed with especially players that are German, they stay in Germany, bro. Like
I hear you on that. I hear you on that, but that's not what he's saying. Hold on. That's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is he won't sign for City because City are on the decline. That's what he said. Now, I hear what you're saying about how where he is and who he could play for and all of that. And that's why I've brought up two players in particular. Kevin De Bruyne, correct me if I'm wrong, but when Kevin De Bruyne was playing for Wolfsburg, yeah, he could sign for, everyone was after him, right? Yeah, and City went all the fuck out because it was like, we need him. And by the way, at that point, yeah, when we signed him, Pep wasn't at the club, right? Pep was not at the club. It was still Pellegrini era, right? Secondly was Haaland. Again, everyone wanted Haaland. Yeah, Every now and again, clubs, when they think, fuck me, because I'll be real with you, if we don't get a player of Wirtz's level, I worry that we won't be back next season. He's someone I think right now, because De Bruyne is gone. De Bruyne's gone.
Can I ask you something about Wirtz, yeah? Like, I rate I rate Foden, innit? I know he's having a stinky season, like you just said. I rate Foden, but what does this mean for him? Because he's supposed to be like the heir to KDB's throne, but if a next
he's not the heir to KDB. Look at the way he plays, bro.
You know what? He did touch on it already. He literally said it with the way that City are run. If he's not good in another season or two, they're going to start evaluating.
My whole issue, right. So from the start with Foden, yeah, I always. Like, when I've watched him from the very beginning, he's always been more of a bit like, he's a player that drifts around, always offers an outlet on the ball, right? But I've got issues with Foden. Like, I think Foden has been molded around our system. He's played our system so much that when I saw him for England in the Euros in the summer, my biggest issue with him, yeah, is that you ask him to defend, he doesn't know how to actually get back and defend because he is from a Pep Guardiola style of football that the best way to defend is keep the ball. Keep the ball and press from the front. Press from the front. Run 5 yards forwards, not 20 yards back. The minute he's playing for England, which is running 20 yards back, he didn't have a fucking clue how to do it. Then if we're comparing him to De Bruyne, bro, Foden does not have the passing range of half of Kevin De Bruyne, yeah? True. Foden, I almost will go as far as to say, and none of this is slander. Being a system player is not slander because he's great in the right system. But I think he is a bit of a luxury player that to get the best out of Foden, he has to have these certain pockets that he is allowed to move in and no one else invades them, right? If he doesn't have those pockets, you don't see the same Foden. So in answer to your question, I don't know what happens with Foden over the next couple of years because right now, yeah, we've got Haaland who's signed a new contract, who is obviously the number 9, yeah? We've got Savio, who Pep definitely favours on the right. We've just signed Marmoush, who can play anywhere across the front three. We've just brought in Echeverri, who everyone's going on about being
cold. I've only seen a couple stuff,
bro,
but
he's
cold.
Young, he's 18, but he's a 10. Yeah, he's a fucking 10. Like, for me, where I would see Foden is if Foden can play in the 8 role. And I think Foden can play in the 8 role, but Pep in playing him in the 8 role.
He can play in the 8 in a luxury system. He's not playing an 8 in an actual team that's, like I said, gonna have to, because an 8 is someone who's got to cover ground, bro.
I agree.
Bro, he can't do that.
But this is the issue that So if I go back to watching Foden when he was 16 years old, I think Foden showed attributes that could definitely be molded into an 8. However, for the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, he has not been molded into an 8. Therefore, right now, again, I wouldn't play him in the 8 at the moment. I'd play Grealish in the 8 over Foden every single fucking day of the week.
Sort of more of a moment's final third player. He reminds me a lot of Maddison. I don't like Maddison, but he reminds me a lot of Maddison. How you're only gonna get good, like you're only gonna see them do good bits of the game in that final third. Pardon? He's better than Maddison. I'm just talking about the way that they play, as in most of their action comes in the final third. If they're not acting anything in the final third, you don't see. I agree. No involvement.
So so based on what I'm saying is like if we're saying openly that Foden is his best position is the 10 position, yeah, and we already have Marmoush now. We already have.
So where's Marmoush gonna play when you're? Where is he gonna play?
I think Marmoush will play a bit off of Haaland. I think he'll play.
You have to play in like a 2, like as a second striker,
like if you're going
not
back
as a
to
winger,
like,
but not as a cam.
So Foden is the new Bernardo Silva, basically.
Well, but then this is what I'm saying. We're trying to find, and this is where it's all on Foden, because Foden now has competition again. And this is before the summer. If we sign someone like Wirtz in the summer, yeah, then there's even more competition for Foden, because and then it's do you know what? It's for me personally, however much obviously local lad and we want Foden to do well, Foden's got to earn it now, because where does
Wirtz play?
Wirtz will play in a kind of a bit 8-10 role. But like Wirtz would be the closest thing we could get to a Kevin De Bruyne replacement.
Way too many tens. I think your biggest issue is actual central midfielders, like outside of Rodri, innit, man? You guys need a few more 8s, because you got Gundogan and Mateus Nunes, who, to be honest, and Kovacic.
Next season we will play. I think a pivot of Rodri and pivot of Rodri and Nico Gonzalez. The play we just signed.
Of course, I forgot about Gonzalez.
But I do agree with you. We need one more still, because Pepe and Avin Nunes is a central midfielder.
I think you should give, obviously not starting in Everton before anyone goes mad, but I think you should give that O'Reilly brother more minutes as well. He looks decent.
Yeah, but it's easy to say that. Yeah, exactly. It's easy to say that when he's played against Plymouth.
True, and he ain't done it in the high.
And that's the thing. Like
whenever he's doing it in a Champions League.
But he played. I think O'Reilly's had a lot of games this season.
O'Reilly's good. O'Reilly's good, right? But this is the thing. Exactly, bro. It's one of them ones where like you have to look at. Bro, he's 17 as well. You have to look at things, and like. Someone was saying the other week that some youngster, I think it was before we played someone like Arsenal, and someone said we should start O'Reilly, we should start X. 3 youngsters, I said, okay, cool. When? Right? Because we've got Arsenal, then we've got Real Madrid, then we've got Tottenham, then we've got Liverpool, then we've got fucking then we've got Nottingham Forest away. Yeah, we had Newcastle in there. I said,
you can't play him in the Premiership. Every game is a madness.
Bro, like, unfortunately, like. Ultimately,
say that, but has James McAtee not had plenty of chances?
McAtee's been coming on
really like him.
McAtee not really a sub. He's been coming on as a sub, and
he's like the go-to sub, and he started a few games. I remember he started
against McAtee has already had 2 seasons in the Premier League on loan at Sheffield United, and McAtee is, I think, 20. McAtee came up the same squad as Cole Palmer. McAtee is not. No, he's not Nico Riley's age. They're different ages, and the thing is that cool. If that's what we're going to do, we're going to bring through youngsters, fine. But everyone's expectations of Manchester City have to drop, because if we're going to be playing these players, we have to accept we might not even be challenging for top 4 because they're 18 and 19-year-olds. Like, I don't mind that. Oh, and by the way, I'm not saying O'Reilly doesn't look good. But also, by the way, he's a fucking attacking midfielder being played as a left back, which is a bit mad.
You know that in reply to the original comment, whoever said you're going to go on a decline. The reason why City won't is that 1, you're one of the best run clubs. You got a lot of money and whatnot, but 2, I think you're going to do similar what Klopp did with Slot. Like, the reason why Slot's doing well in that, but Klopp laid the foundation. He done the midfield rebuild in that before Slot come in. You can see Pep's already do it, because I think Pep's gone at the end of next season, and I think you'll agree. What Pep's done, he started the rebuild. He started the rebuild from January, bringing in like Nico Gonzalez and Marmoush and that. Then you're going to sign more players this summer. So it's in good stead for the next manager that comes in. Do you know what I mean? I think that's why City won't fall off in my opinion.
They had that debate on TalkSport about your club.
That's quickly. I just think this is why I think if we keep our place, City are going through a mini transition. Why I don't think we necessarily will win the league. And I also think you've got the Club World Cup thing where you're going to get a shorter pre-season.
Yeah, but we got no pre-season. It's minging. Yeah. Do you know what? There was a really good debate on TalkSport the other day. I think it was on TalkSport where they were basically talking about Slot and Klopp and basically saying if Slot comes in and wins the league, does that downplay what Klopp's legacy? And basically it was good for me as a neutral because I've been hearing that and thinking that maybe, but actually, both can be right. That ultimately just the whole transition from like fair play to Klopp that he actually did what Fergie left Man United in an absolute shit show.
Exactly.
Yeah? Whereas Klopp actually did help the rebuild, and I think you're right. I think that's what Pep's doing. This is not. I don't believe Pep signs another contract. I think he goes.
How long has he got left?
Do you know what?
I think a year and a half. It's one of them. Right. This is how you know it's for a rebuild. It's for basically up until summer 2026, but with an option to extend one more year. Ultimately, they put that extra option in probably in case the rebuild is not at the point.
I think it is. I think if Arteta wins a league in the next 2 years, Pep's staying. He's saying, no, I'm staying. I'm here for it. He wants another battle. He's got another battle coming up. And if it's Arteta or it's Slot, he's going to be up for the battle. That's what he wants. I know. I
don't know. It's all mad. We have to, the one thing I think everyone like forgets, and it is what it is. By the way, I'm not saying like this in his defense, but it is relevant. Is right now Pep is about 6 months into a divorce. Yeah. So, like, bro, yeah. That's bro. That whole.
I didn't even know that,
bro. That's the whole head scratching shit.
All this is going on. He's got
the divorce. This whole season has been a divorce, and like going through a divorce. My whole divorce.
Apparently, he likes football.
You know what? You know what that makes sense. That's why he's crashing out and trying to grab fans.
Roms, you see, when I used to move Mad Erratic on shows sometimes, bro, I was going through a divorce. I didn't know whether I was coming and going, and people would say, and people going, "Oh, you're rattled over football." Now I've got real life. I've got real life shit going on, and like my daughter's about to move out in 3 hours. That's what's going on, and I was doing YouTube to take my mind off of all of that because I was thinking, do you know what? I can go and shut off and just talk football for a bit. So I think at the moment with Pep, you don't know because Pep's probably still working out in his head what the fuck he wants to do.
I can't believe that's another tick thing where if we win the league, because Pep was going through the divorce. There's another one now. Another thing to put down now. I'm gonna hear it all.
No, there ain't no putting down. Do you know what? Even I'll be real. Anyone trying to put down your win the other day was mad. Like, bro,
crazy, isn't it?
Bro,
crazy.
Listen, I remember when like.
Bro, Benitez made a living off that, bro.
I've always said it. The season we won the season we won the Champions League, in the last 16, we drew 1-1 with Leipzig, right? Brought them back to the Etihad and won. We then went and beat Bayern at the Etihad and then drew away from home. Then we went to the Bernabeu, drew at the Bernabeu, and I celebrated a draw at the Bernabeu because I knew bringing them back. So to go to PSG in the form PSG are in this season, and beat them by any means.
That was lucky though, man.
No,
that was the hardest game we've had this season, bro. The hardest game. It's not luck. It's not luck. It's not luck.
No, that was all luck. That was all luck.
It's not luck.
I understand what you're saying. It was an onslaught from start to finish, bro.
I don't understand what you're saying. It's not luck.
You've got to give us credit for that defending. Alisson, but even Trent, you were ready to crash it on Trent. You're probably one of them fans that was ready to crash it on Trent if he got ripped up and that. He even put in a performance, bro.
Where's the luck?
Where's the luck? Am I right? Am I right? Yeah, that Alisson had an absolute unbelievable
should have been red carded.
Hold on. Apart from that one incident,
the red card. You can't say apart from.
Because that's football.
It's not apart from.
But you can't say if Alisson.
He's our player.
No, but
if
But if Allison had a world-class game, yeah, and saved everything, yeah, that's not luck. That's because they broke a British transfer fee.
It should have been recorded.
I agree in that.
Right, so what? We can't do this, man.
I'll be fuming, bro.
That was 1-on-1. It's a blatant record. Of course you can do it.
I've seen this happen before. This ain't the first time I've seen these decisions. So what are we doing? Like, I've seen these decisions happen all the time.
That is a blatant red card. It's clear as day. Otherwise, the guy's 1-on-1.
Boy to boy, yeah. If that had happened to one of our attackers, you're screaming.
Yes. I've been screaming, but it's happened. These things, I've seen these things happen. So,
that's a red card. And not only that as well, Kvaratskhelia goal, his goal is like it's a tiny. His foot is
offside. Is he offside?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying no. You're missing the point. I'm not saying you didn't win the game. You're missing the point. I'm not saying you didn't win the game. I'm saying it wasn't a defensive masterclass. It was luck. That's what I'm saying.
Nah, it's not luck, bro. Bro, do you know what? The one thing I'd say, the one thing I would say in football. Hold on.
So your defense was good. Your defense was good. Allison has to save 50 world-class shots.
But in football, yeah, and he's such a world-class goalkeeper. They broke the British transfer fee to get him on a goalkeeper, right? Because they knew that in moments like that he would do that. Now, as for the decision, I hear it. But in every single game of football, I honestly believe in every single game of football, there is at very least one decision that goes wrongly one way and one decision that goes wrongly the other game. In every single
game of
football.
Not like that.
Hold on. But they don't, you only speak about the ones that people, and I'm not meaning you, everyone does, right? You only speak about the ones that you remember, yeah?
So did Liverpool deserve to win the game then?
Bro, away in Europe in knockout competition against a PSG team bro, we played them. I saw what they did.
No. Yes or no? Yes.
They won it. They deserve to win it.
Yes. No, but listen, Daps. Hold on. Wait. So what happens, right? So if we won 3-0 and Salah scored a hat trick, yeah. Right, D, if we won 3-0 and Salah scored a hat trick, yeah, would it be luck?
I can't answer that question because I'm answering.
No, but would it be luck if Salah scored a hat trick? Would it be luck
to win that game? Who played better?
Yes,
who played better, PSG or Liverpool? Who played better, PSG or Liverpool?
We did.
They did. No, bro. Do you know what I'd say they did? Because bro, it's knockout football. Yeah, away from home. Do you know what? The thing is, I'll be real with you. In a game of football,
you agree with that Liverpool played better than PSG?
In a game of football that is a draw, I think you can have a conversation about which team deserved to win. In a game where one team wins and the other doesn't, simple. That team deserved to win.
So Liverpool were the better team?
Yes, away from home to get that result, yes.
Bro, Mourinho said it. You can control the game without having the ball, bro. Like, you can. All this possession stuff's all mad.
All that stuff is crazy to me. I want to bring back to the 80s. There's no stats.
You lot just said it because of the result. You lot just said it because of the result.
Hold on, let me massage. Let me ask
one more question. So if the result was 0-0, yeah, it was a 0-0 result. You think Liverpool deserved to win the game?
Yes, for being resilient.
Yes.
No, hold on. No. I think if it's a draw,
it wasn't 0-0.
If it's a draw, Liverpool deserved the draw because they were resilient away from home.
So resilience. So because you're resilient, that outweighs being attacking flair and that outweighs it.
Yeah. Why attacking flair better than defense? Why attacking better than defense?
Yeah, bro. Ask me some of my favorite players.
When Arsenal was scoring set piece goals and the defensive performances, and you lot saying we're scraping through games.
I never said that.
I don't know about other
fans. I
said so now you're not in a bad position now. You've created a whole new. Because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clip this part here.
Yeah, clip it.
Yeah, so I don't forget. That's what I'm going to do. So we are at 1.
Do you want me to do a John Barnes rap quickly?
We're at 150. No, because what we're going to do, I'm going to clip this part here because what you lot are saying is Liverpool deserve to win that game because they were resilient.
Yes.
And if it was 0-0,
no, I didn't say. I didn't use the word resilient. I said we were just better than them. Simple as. No one can't tell me different. No one can't tell me different.
Liverpool were better than PSG.
D, you can note this.
Yes.
And I will say this to you now. If you beat, you beat PSV. When you beat PSV, and let's say you get Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, if you go to the Bernabeu or you go to Atletico's ground, Stadium Metropano or whatever it's called, right? If you go there, and they throw the kitchen sink at you, and I'm not even going to say you don't concede. They throw the kitchen sink at you and you come away from either of those grounds with a draw, I will be 100% saying Arsenal deserved that. A million percent, bro, because it's European away games against elite teams. PSG aren't no dickheads.
Bro, you're allowed to say that you got a win, but you didn't deserve it. That's okay. It's football. It happens.
You don't deserve to win.
The win doesn't leave because you didn't deserve to win.
I got an example. Obviously, I don't remember watching the 90 minutes, but I watched that some extended highlights. You see when you won the FA Cup in that, I think it was 2005, against that United team that peppered you all game, yeah? Would you say you were the better team over them? They peppered you all game. I think you won it on penalties. I see it on YouTube.
So when we played Man City this season, they scored the last minute goal, were we the better team?
I said you were, bro. I got the tapes there. With me, I don't do the bias thing, but I do the objective thing, bro.
No, you're not doing the objective thing because you're saying that Liverpool were better than PSG.
No, because what you're just saying PSG were better because they're more attacking. There's different ways to win football.
They were better than you. They controlled the whole game. It's not because they were more attacking. It's not because they were more attacking.
If we got the result, and what we tried to set out to do, we were the better team, bro. Like we were the better team.
Rums, we went there to get a 1-0 win, yeah? We went there and got the result we want. What is the problem with that? I don't understand. We went there to win. We went there and got the result.
You went there and got the result. Doesn't make you a better team. Doesn't mean you were the better team on the day. What are you talking about?
Of course it was, because we done our plan. Our plan worked. What's the problem?
You know what, Josh? Yeah,
and the same thing.
Either this season or next season, when other team, it rarely happens to you nowadays. But when a team that dominates you in that, but you get the win, I hope you have the same energy.
Well, they didn't just dominate you. They didn't just dominate you. There should have been a red card. That was happening. They had goals.
What's the red card between friends?
Goals disallowed.
They had a goal disallowed. It wasn't.
You seem a bit hurt by red cards.
That's what Arsenal's are. Arsenal are hurt.
No, I'm saying you lot are saying
you're coming like George. You're swinging out at the wrong people right now.
Bro, you lot saying that you lot are the better team is crazy to me, man. That's madness, man.
You saying
the better
that
team
they should have won when they didn't
win. So whoever wins means that they were the better team. Whoever wins.
Yeah, because they got the result, bro. The proof's in the pudding, bro.
What's going on there?
Like, you know, D, if you said PSG were more attacking than that, I'll hear it, but not better than us.
Were better than you. Lot didn't even hardly have any attack on them.
So what? We didn't attack.
They were better than you defensively as well. They were better than you defensively as well.
Hold on. Wait. Let me ask you a question, yeah? In training and all that, yeah, PSG done all this training to do whatever, yeah? Did it work? They're training whatever they're planning to do.
It didn't work because the referee didn't give a red card.
What's that got to do with them getting a result? Was that part of the plan to get red cards? Was that part of their plan?
What do you mean? Their part of the plan was to go through 1-on-1 and your defender took him out. That's what happened. That's
your opinion. The referee said it wasn't.
So you don't think that was a red card?
No, I don't.
No, D, this is where you're being shamed.
Rums, this is family issues. Don't get involved. It's family issues.
It wasn't as clear cut. It wasn't as clear cut as when wasn't as clear cut as when Declan Rice kicked the ball away.
Thank you. That was clear cut. No, but on the rule one, yeah. On the rule one, yeah. End of the day, we done our training. They done their training. We both teams came out. And obviously, what we put in plan worked because we've done the same thing against Man City, let them have the ball, and we scored our goals and went out of business. Wiped our mouth and went home. That's what we've done. Went away, not going to look at the game again, come to our pitch, do the same thing, innit?
That's not the point. I'm saying the point is who played better. You're saying Liverpool played better than PSG.
Well, yes, because that was our plan. Our plan was to do that. That was our plan. Bro, if you do a plan and it works, how can you say that they play better if that's how we planned it?
Your plan was to have Konate last man against Barcola.
Why are you saying, bro? Was
that your plan?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Your plan? Yeah,
it was.
Josh, you can't have energy for us. That's on flipping the officials. That had nothing to do with us. We didn't make that decision.
I don't know why Roms is explaining. Roms, why are you explaining? Yes, it was part of the plan. We've done it in training the day before. We've done it in training. That's exactly what we've done. It's not the first time he's done it either.
You got to hold and give and do it at the right time. You can be slow or fast, but you must get to the line.
Quickly, what's this John Barnes thing? Because I always see Dap saying, "Oh, you know John Barnes, that is he trolling?"
Roms, don't Roms.
I see it.
You're too young. You're too young.
He'll always hit you and hurt you.
Barnes
Must
used to rap.
defend and attack.
There's a Liverpool song.
Love.
Barnes was rapping,
bro. Why does that player say, "Oh,
because
John Barnes is my favorite player, isn't it? John Barnes is my favorite player.
He knows John. He knows John Barnes.
No, I can't
I don't know
any
John
bro.
Barnes.
Any black man born in the 70s, 80s, that's their best player. That's why I
It was my real. It was John Barnes was it was John Barnes and Luther Blissett were my dad's two favorite players. Because my real dad,
both at Watford.
My real dad was a Watford fan, wasn't he?
Okay.
Yeah, see.
Oh yeah, of course.
I had John Barnes and Ian Wright were my favorite players when I grew up. You get me? When I was,
I liked Ian Wright.
That's who it was. John Barnes and Ian Wright.
Can you remember? It was, in fact, it was you lot, wasn't it? It was Crystal Palace v Liverpool, where it was Barnes. Yeah. Where it was fucking Ian Wright and Mark Bright for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it was murders, them two.
Yeah.
Them two were murders together.
Proper.
Murders together.
I got a shoot in it. Big up.
Love my
hey, Roms, big up, man. Big up, man. I can't believe. Is this what I walked into? I hate this view. I've got to sit up straight.
Daps, you're trenching it tonight. What are you doing? What are you up to?
No. I've got my daughter tonight.
I might get Ish on there tonight.
Yeah, got my daughter tonight.
Oh, you told Ish jump on, innit? If Ish wants to jump on, jump on.
I might come in. There was someone new last week. I'm trying to think. Last week I was in Manchester.
I'll tell you that is off the camera, innit?
Well, yeah. He's like a once a month thing. He can't be on there every week.
Yeah. I can imagine.
He's true. You'll get the thing shut down. It's long. He definitely got no filter. He's got no filter.
I think Cass might be on tonight though.
Yeah, Cass is my guy. I'm gonna send you man the link. You don't just jump on if you want to jump on.
I might come on for a bit early doors, but I've got to get an early night and that, and I've got my daughter, so.
Yeah, cool. You know how it goes, mum. You know.
I feel like I ain't been on the stream for ages. Fucking hell, it's been since Monday. Was it Monday I was on? No, I was on Thingy's one as well. I was on PSP.
That's how it is with us, lot, man.
Who have you lot got? Who have Liverpool got this weekend?
Southampton.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the fixtures haven't worked out. This fixture thing that we thought was gonna work out hasn't worked out.
I know. The mad working that the Arsenal fans were doing.
We got Man United. We got Man United and Chelsea coming up. You got Southampton.
Bro, but respectfully, bro, you lot are smacking there. I'm sorry, yeah.
Like Man United.
Yeah,
Man United disgusting. They're disgusting.
It's the fact that if I look at it, against your defense is too good, and their attack is too bad. Right,
but their defense is also not very good either. Whoever's playing against Waneri, he is going to give them major. But Odegaard, you're going to play Casemiro against Odegaard, really?
Yeah,
they ain't got no choice, have they? They
played Casemiro and Bruno in the week. Yesterday, you played that against us.
Yeah.
Why do I get this? See in the group chat, yeah. I don't reply because
are you not in the group chat?
Nah, I'm not in no group chats.
This group chat.
No,
I'm not. You're not in it no more.
No, I'm not in none.
I never found one.
No, I'm not even in group chats with my best mates. I can't do it. It's too time consuming. You get involved in conversations.
Did you leave the group then?
Yeah. I was in one and I just left it.
Oh,
bro, they were on Liverpool. Yeah, see what during the game, the PSG game, on it all game. The Man United fans were going crazy. When Kravitz scored, it was all madness. When this was going on, we're getting done. Then when we scored at the last minute, yeah, if you heard the chat, if you heard the blasphemy I heard in there, I thought, I can't believe the things I was saying here. And then Man United yesterday, bro, I'm thinking, hold on a minute. You're playing Sociedad without no Zubimendi and all these players, and you didn't even win, and you're going on as a good draw.
Well, it's I'm not gonna lie, well, the last thing a Man United fan needs when they're having a season like they're having is you lot like winning everything.
They're gonna match the 20 titles. It's gonna kill them.
Bro, I was watching Big Six last night, and the way Saeed was talking like about Liverpool. Yeah, it's just like I can see United fans. It's hurting them. You lot like it's hurting them a lot.
Saeed's the worst for it. Saeed, if you see how he breaks down when Liverpool score, he was nearly in tears. When we scored that last second goal, he was nearly in tears. I'll go straight to his channel and see what he's doing. He couldn't even speak.
See, don't get me wrong. I like seeing I like seeing whether it be Arsenal, whether it be Chelsea, whether it be Liverpool, whether it be Tottenham. It's probably it, I think. United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal. I like seeing them all lose, but like I do think there's some people that actually are now getting more pleasure seeing other teams lose than they are seeing their own team win.
Yes,
and that is
affects
mad.
them. It doesn't affect my life. Man Utd winning does not affect my life.
Don't get me wrong.
It affects my life.
It creates good content, and don't get me wrong, but I guess is where I am at the moment is like Liverpool aren't my concern this season.
I don't care about Man City. Man United,
where we are now, where City are right now for the rest of this season is, I don't even think there's any team that is. No, there's no team that is my concern. My only concern is getting 3 points every game and getting us top 4 football. That's it, right? And it's now in our hands. Like, don't matter if Liverpool win, don't matter if Arsenal win, Chelsea to a certain extent, and a few others, but we've played pretty much. The only teams we've got to play now, I think, is like, obviously we do have teams that are still hard games and away games, but we've played Arsenal twice, we've played Liverpool twice, we've played Tottenham twice, we've played Newcastle twice, we've played Chelsea twice.
You played everyone.
We've got Villa at home and we've got Man United away, which to me are two very winnable games. So we just have to, for me, this season's just about us keep winning. And then there we go. We get top 4 football and we go again next season. Yeah. Oh, and I want the FA Cup, but I want the FA Cup.
Oh, yeah.
You want that, yeah?
Yeah, I do this year. I want, because we ain't got no more.
Well, you just want to keep that run going, innit?
Bro, do you know we've set a record for I think we've set a record for 7 semi-finals in a row we've been to in the FA Cup. Yeah. But
that's crazy.
One of them ones now, because I haven't got any more European aways, then I'll treat the semi-final and the final a weekend away in London. So just like we'll all meet up down there for the weekend.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's what it is to me, really and truly. Like it's away days, isn't it? Yeah, away days.
That's why you're not changing the hunt for the 100 bags.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened? Say it again. What 100 bags?
We do that earlier. What we was talking about.
Okay, I don't know what you're about.
Now, remember last week when you were on Trench Talks and you and Dee were having the conversation about would Robbie give up AFTV for Arsenal to win the league?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so then Dee was asking like us lot, would we, like, to me as an example, would I give up the 4p for, I think he started at 25 bags?
No chance.
Nah, not for 25 bags. But then it was I think I said I'd give up the 4p, only the 4p, not the 3p, not the treble, but I'd give up the 4p for about 120.
Fair enough, yeah. Fair enough.
But then obviously a million's just completely different conversations.
Yeah, millions. Come on, man, millions different, man.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think even 250 would be a conversation. 250 is not a conversation. I'm thinking about 250. I'm taking 250. Cheers. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about 100's kind of. I'm thinking, do you know what?
100's looking good now. 100's looking good now. Isn't it? The price of living, 100's looking kind of nice. It's kind of nice.
100 large, yeah, it's not bad.
In fact, transfer it to my account.
Fucking a suitcase, that makes shit difficult.
That's what I'm saying. You put in a suitcase, it's in front of my eyes. It's a whole different language now. The whole different language.
Yeah. My thinking was that if I think about how much I've pissed up a wall, that it's not, but you piss it up a wall over a long period of time. It's not a big lump sum of money where you can go and spend it on whatever the hell you want. And like 100 bags is 2 mortgages.
Yeah. And you can easily see 100 bags. People think 100 bags. 100 bags ain't a lot, you know.
No, it's not. You got
not a lot of money. Not in this day and age.
Nah, it makes me laugh when people say you can retire on X, Y, or Z. There ain't
not in this day and age, man.
Bro, you need to retire. You need big money, like, because if something happens to you when you're old, the cost of looking after you is not cheap now. Like all of that stuff, and then but 100 bags, you could 2 mortgages, 2 yards. That's an income.
Holiday, and then
yeah.
It's gone. It's done. Now you're in debt again. It's mad.
But I'm not giving up the Champions League final for anything.
For anything you said. For anything. Now you're mad. You're losing your mind.
No, it would have to be a lot.
You're losing your mind. You're losing
I'm taking 100, man.
Nah, not for the Champions League final. No way.
I'm taking 100, man. I'm taking 100, man. My life's more important.
Oh, I hear it.
Definitely.
Part of the Champions League final was part of my life. It was great.
He hasn't got Champions League. He hasn't got Champions League. I don't know why he's talking. No Champions League. You don't know what it feels like. It's easy said. It's easy said. It's easy said, isn't it? I know. I hear it.
But and Brandon saying 100 bands is plenty where most people come from. I hear it, but we're not talking about anyone else. So, like, bro, if we'd grown up. Like,
go and live in London. Go and live in London for 100 bags.
Yeah,
what you get.
We live where we are. Unfortunately,
you get a box room.
I don't have the luxury of being able to leave. I want to go back to Manchester. I can't even move to Manchester. Yeah, because I've got a daughter where I live. So I can't be moving to another country where the cost of living is cheaper. If I could, I would, but I can't. Talking to daughter, that's my daughter, so I need to dip.
Love my G.
I'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah. Link up.
Yeah, man, that's mad.
It's all crazy. It's all crazy, man.
When do you start on this?
We've been on there for 2.5 hours, isn't it? So I was gonna say, what do you want to do? Do you want to redirect? Do you want to set up a stream and go live, or what do you want to do? I'm gonna come off.
Nah, bro. I've had a long day. We got trenches tonight.
Yeah. I've been on there for. I'm gonna redirect you lot over to. Who's live? No one's live. Let me see who's live, man. No one's live. That's the first time I've seen that. No one's live. How can no one be live, bruv? This is mad. Ain't even Man Utd TV or no one live, no? No one's live, fam.
You got to find something they want to what? Troops.
It's Troops live.
That's what Gunnar K said. Troops. Yeah, Troops. Winter Soldier. Troops is.
Oh yeah, Troops is live. Oh, Monson that. Yeah, Troops is live.
Yeah. Go and rate it up.
Oh yeah,
FamZone rate.
Oh yeah, Troops, Monson that. Yeah. Go and rate that up, man. I'm gonna send you the over the Troops. I'm gonna send you the over the Troops now. And then we've got now Deluded is not live. He's not live. Otherwise I would have seen it still. But go and rate that up, and then we got trenches tonight at 10 p.m, man. You know how that goes, man. Trench talks tonight at 10 p.m. Make sure you're liking, subscribing on the way out, man. Anyone that's not subscribed, you're up and a pagan.
You get me.
But we got trench talks tonight, 10 p.m. You know how it goes, trenches. I got a little chairman's reserve there that my mum bought me from St. Lucia. You get me? I'm gonna show you. Quickly. Look. This is real St. Lucian rum. Look.
That's the best rum in there is.
You can get it here, but
that's the best rum. You can't beat it.
St. Lucian one's a little bit different. You get me? So that's it. I might have a little one tonight. You get me? But it depends how I feel. But yeah, 10 p.m.
raid.
Yeah, FamZone raid it up on Troops' thing, and then we'll see you at 10 p.m. innit? Get me?
10 p.m. man. Take it easy, people.
Love my